When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. 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 Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack one when I'm traveling. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling.
What do you mean by insecurity?
When I say insecurity, you have, what's the word? You know, I got third grade education.
Well, let me ask you a question.
When you have a fear, when you have a fear of something.
Okay, now if so, you're saying a man is secure if he allows other men around his woman. He's secure.
He's secure within himself.
What makes him secure that he allows men around his woman that he know
That nigga a fool.
If she choose to go that way with that man, then she's never been for me. That's up to her, and I move in the way that I need to move.
What makes him secure though? Because he knows that he can't control her, and so if she cheats, it is what it is. That makes him secure.
Period.
So
damn, for real.
You know I love you've been rocking with me when they had 10 people watching this motherfucker.
Go ahead, ask your question. What's your question?
Well, you know, just in terms of even an old friend, you know, just considering what was being said, I think Illa has a point. I think you guys have a point in terms of he been a friend for a long time. In my head, I'm like, the fuck that mean to me? You know, like that's just how my head, like when I be thinking this shit, I'm a husband now, right? Or I don't, what you did generally, I don't, it is what it is, right? But what can he do for her? Can she go to him for the support? Can she go to him for money?
None of that shit.
I'm gonna let you finish answering.
Can she go to him for money?
No, she can't. That's my job.
Can she go to him for spiritual guidance?
No,
that's your job. Shit.
Exactly.
Can she go to him for protection?
No,
like man, they go fighting things of that nature. The strong boys would be taken and separated from their family, stuff like that.
Yeah, and they were they're used to it. Yes, that's happened.
So when we're criticizing black men, if you think it takes a couple generations to change, right? And we just went through some of the things you acknowledged happened to black men and were targeted specifically just 2 generations ago with your your generation. And then we come at black men like we did it all to ourselves. You don't think there's an apology of some sort in order?
Let me be clear. Let me be clear about something.
Shit.
I did not ask him for his pension because that had children outside of our marriage.
You left him for free.
Y'all always get on here.
Listening.
So shut the up.
You not
y'all
listening.
Always get on here.
You not
Try
listening.
to dismiss women. Stop
You
trying to
not
be
listening.
in abusive relationships, whether it is
You are not listening.
or not.
Bro, if you had 2 people sitting there, right? They had a one night stand. He put the rubber on, and you got to tell one of them they was wilding, and one of them they was wilding. You would say the woman was wilding.
Mm-hmm.
She should have made that nigga put a condom on.
Yeah, especially because niggas' dicks be dirty.
Damn!
What level of responsibility? Well, not what the stats say. What level of responsibility would it be on? So he didn't put a condom on. She got pregnant. It's a one night stand. Who would you put the onus on for that happening more?
If I had to choose the woman because she gives the access.
Damn. So she should have made sure he put a condom on his dick.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Shit like that. Wow.
Look like Mr. Fantastic is right.
Brother.
Okay. Damn. So putting a baby
That need to be a mom is huge for women. So depending on who the woman is, a woman with a kid is less desperate to have a baby with any goddamn body.
Okay. All right. But you're saying she's 28. The clock starts getting louder and louder.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the danger comes in.
She have a baby by a homeless person. She don't give a shit. she ready to pull up on her bridge with no panties on.
That guy from he just came home, right? He just got out of jail. What's his name? Meeks. Jeremy Meeks. I think he was a prisoner.
Yes.
He got
with
a
good hair. Yeah.
He got green eyes and all that.
They ready to get pregnant by that dude. Ain't got no job, no nothing. That's a perfect example. Yep.
Damn, man.
The dude with the green eyes, she wants her baby with. So that's what I'm saying. She find a whatever type of dude that would make a pretty baby. She online saying, I'm on birth control. You ain't got to wear no condom. Nigga ain't got no job, no nothing, but he got green eyes. She ready to bust it.
What I would recommend is you you get a job, right? You work it, maybe in an industry that you could thrive in. Learn it, right? Without the risk, build a foundation. That way when you jump into it, you're ready, Are we having a conversation? Are you here? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Are you responding to me, you think, or?
Who else am I responding to? I'm telling you what I hear. You asked me what I hear as far as that question.
I know, but as I'm breaking it down for you, is it?
Move on.
You're right.
Go.
You are partway chivalrous to like you and yours. Is that truly chivalry? Is it just you protecting your investment or your asset, which is your life? And I want to go back to maybe that isn't as chivalrous because you're protecting your investment, which is your wife. If somebody smacks her investment, but the woman on the bus, the old lady on the bus is standing up with a cane, and you gonna sit there and sit your happy hips, your wide hips down that bus, and watch her stand up on that with that cane the whole entire time. That's not chivalry.
Are you saying that me protecting my wife is less chivalrous than me giving my seat up for some old hag?
Are you
No.
really chivalrous? Are you really chivalrous if you are only protecting your investment?
It's mine, right?
Right, you're protecting what's yours, but are you truly chivalrous if you don't give up the seat on the bus?
I've been only pursuing so much for the attention of women. This is all, it sounds so new to me when I'm hearing it, but maybe I didn't have this perspective before. Calvin was good. B-Love, what's up? But it's just like why we do things. Where does our moral code actually come from? How far are we willing to go to stand on it? Does your moral code have contingencies? I have the clips queued up, but I'm just thinking through it. The double standards. How long can we? I thought they just were a thing, but I guess they have there's a reason for it.
Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm in the hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm in the hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
Direction, choose your...
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees.
Remember, choose your own.
Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause. Chill, watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the club out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause. Chill, watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the club out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause. Chill, watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the club out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause the shit. Seeking a place where you're free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Pause. Chill, watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the club out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Shit, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts.
And remember, choose your own.
Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Shit, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right up the shit. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when when I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. 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 Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. 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 Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. 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 Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. 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 Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. 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 Get neck when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shit seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun down. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling.
Check. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me real quick.
When I'm traveling.
In a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Tell a friend, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
In a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling.
Check. I'm good.
When I'm traveling.
Where the volume at? Thank you, Kasim. He said a one. It's low. Let me see. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I'm gonna keep turning it up. Let me know. There you go. Check. Alright, let me just cut this music. Alright, how I'm sounding? I'm good. Alright, you can hardly hear me. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I'm good now. The music is off. I should be good, man. You know? I should be good now. I'm getting there, Mel. All right, the music is off, okay? The music is off. I'm good now. All right. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I apologize, man. I was handling a plethora of phone calls to try to get up there, man. Try to get up here. So now I'm good to go, man. Get the likes up. We got 100 people in the building, and we have 57 likes. My apologies for the delay, but we here now, man. Man, what's popping? Let me see who in the building. My brother Rock in the building. Rock Solid was good. Orchid, Mel in here. You already know Miss Jilly in the building. I mean, my brother Kasim. Kasim, you off work? Callie in the building. Love C, Lionel, Chocolate, Cree, what's up? Vet Life, what's goody? Lauren Mack, what's popping? Missy, we see you. Degenerate, Ronnie. Okay. Pac-Man, what's good? Jarice, what's popping? Okay, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Okay, Red Pill Ranger. There's already a good conversation going on in the chat. Impress, salute. What's good? Let me catch up on this conversation. Okay. It's like 300 comments in the chat already. Salute. Brittany, what's up, sweet B? Jay Strada, what's good, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. Hope all is well, man. Hope all is well. I think I got Chocolate Bunny already. Fifi was popping. And let's get it, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Yeah, you actually kind of late, but you on time because I was running late. So it works like that sometimes. You know, it always works sometimes, right? Catherine was goody. Who else I saw? Damn, I just saw somebody. Hold on. That I wanted to acknowledge. I already got Vet. Did I see Rainbow Kid? I don't know if I see Rainbow Kid yet. Tipsy was popping. Okay. RLC in the building. Salute, man. I'm gonna drop the link soon, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. All right, man. So we had a bunch of dope shows. Shout out to Trill who was in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Trill obliged us with the interview. You feel me? D-Dub was popping. It was dope, man. We really had a good conversation. Trill's opinion and views, you know, seemingly set off a decent amount of fireworks, not fireworks, but you know, there's definitely a decent amount of pushback for how he feels about things. You know, how he articulated you know, just the different situations. As an example, you know, when we're talking about who's responsible if she gets pregnant, he doesn't wear a condom. And he said the men, you know, and Trill, he's on tonight's conversation. You know, he got his app up, you know, 200,000 subscribers, 200,000 on Instagram, who knows how many on TikTok, a million view videos, so on and so forth. He seemingly didn't align with a lot of the sentiments, you know, and we had a great discourse that came from it. But when I'm listening, looking, even when I was having a conversation with the women's POV that we did during the daytime, you know, there was a specific segment with Love when it was about the restaurant, the man in the restaurant with his wife. What up, Lawrence? And how he should have taken control. She put the onus on him, even though his wife was acting a donkey. You know what I'm saying? Which sounds like a joke, but this is this leadership concept that we've bought into. It's like men are accountable and responsible for every single thing that's going on around them. If their family fails, it's on them. If their woman is out of line, it's on them. If their kids are bad, it's on them. You know, if people aren't willing to follow them, it's on them. You know, like women are going to follow the right man. So if she's not willing to follow you, it's because it's you. If another man comes along, she'll follow him, right? They only follow the men who are fit to lead. You know, these are the sentiments that's shared. So when we put this leadership tag on men, oh, my bad. What did I put in the, oh, yo, Cree, my bad. It was like 2 a.m. I was putting this flyer together. I'm on my row shit, man. Except for I'm taking away words. Row be adding letters. Salute to the row. You know. But the leadership tag has been used like would you got like an excuse for others' behaviors. You know? Again, if she's not in line, my bad, I got distracted when I'm looking at the worst thing. You know, they only follow real men. They only follow men who actually know how to lead, etc., etc. It's just tough, man. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. But how do you guys surmise it? What up, Black Gold? How do you guys surmise it? Like, are men the leaders? Put a 1 in the chat if you really believe men are the leaders. Put a 1 in the chat if you really believe that men are the leaders. Put a 1 in the chat if men are the leaders. Right. Okay. So if men are the leaders, put a 1 in the chat if men are the leaders. Okay. And then I want to ask you, put a 2 in the chat if you think the leader is accountable for all the actions of their subordinates. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe that leaders are accountable for all the actions of their subordinates. Okay, so we got majority ones, right? So I'm off that. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe that leaders are responsible for all the actions of their subordinates. So Jerice put 2, Quincy put 2, absolutely 2, 2. Man. And I'll drop the link because I want to understand. So if the leader's accountable for all the actions of their subordinates, is that only applicable if they can deal real consequences to said subordinates? Right? Because if they're accountable for all the actions, generally speaking, they should be able to deal consequences to the subordinates. But if they're unable to deal consequences to the subordinates, can you still hold them to the same level of accountability? You know, because what consequences can you deal with these to the subordinates in the relationships? Right? Because if you can't deal consequences, how can you then hold the leader 100% accountable for the action of their subordinates, but they can't actually punish them or discipline them? You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Players Only. If you use a Joseph Stalin, right? He can deal real consequences. You know? You see what I'm saying? Like, and so just, we just walking down the path slowly. I'm not rushing. Right? So men are the leaders. Overwhelming majority of the chat put 1. Is the leader fully accountable for the actions of their subordinates? I asked for a 2. The chat put 2. But then I ask, if you can't deal real discipline and consequences to those subordinates, can you then hold the leader fully accountable for the actions of said subordinates? Yeah, and I'm not talking about physical, right? I'm just talking about actual consequence. You see, like it kind of it's flawed, you know, because we're dealing with adults in these relationships, and there's certain things you can or cannot do. Even the consequences would be the sentiment may be like, let's say you take your money away. It's financial abuse, things of that nature. The abuse words get thrown in there pretty quickly too. But let me show y'all this, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Yeah, Ali, that's the thing. Like, it's so many, because it, like, how does it work? And then obviously we got the age old question: can you lead anybody that doesn't want to be led? But now, how this leadership title is being used and implemented, it seems like one of the worst, and I'm gonna say worst because I spelled it wrong. Should have shot the Cree. It's one of the worst things because now is it being used as ammo? Is it being used as ammunition? You know what I mean? Is it being used as ammunition now? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link. Let's talk through it. Let me just show you guys a couple clips that I have queued up. It may not be warranted. However, history has shown us a level of people's modus operandi, so we default to it mentally. And I think people are unfortunately characterized the same way. Go ahead.
So that last super chat by Osa, he and I had a conversation about how Black men are viewed because, we were talking about how Black men are viewed outside of the Black culture, maybe. And typically we go to a restaurant. Who's the first to send back the food? Who's the first to complain about the food? Who's the first to complain about anything or the drink or whatever? And so we've seen.
Who knows though? Like, I don't go to restaurant white people.
What are you talking about?
Like when we say that, the assumption is a Black woman, right? But I never been to a restaurant with nobody else.
No. It's about the restaurant workers because we've seen a couple of incidents where, and he and I actually had this debate. This one Black woman, she was arguing and like fussing the restaurant worker out. Her husband was sitting right there. He didn't say a word. And I just blamed him. I said, she's being all loud and boisterous and she was wrong as two left shoes. And I said, well, why didn't he like calm her down or check her? Because she's talking to another man. She's talking to a man going off on a male restaurant worker, and he wasn't even in the wrong, and she was. And I said, I honestly put it on, so it was on her husband as well. It's not just her that was acting a fool. I said he had some type of accountability as well because that is his wife. And for her to be out there acting like that, she's a direct reflection of him. And so for her to act like that and cuss that man out and act a fool, it's like, why didn't he sit there and tap her or step in front of her and then he handled the situation? But instead, she handled it.
So, in this example, what do you guys think? Like, Love saying she's wrong is two left shoes. She's dead wrong. But then also in Love's head, she's putting the onus on her husband because he's standing by watching his action. But that is an adult, right? How is he so how is he implicated to that extent? Do people step in when people are acting a donkey? They do. But she put the blame on him for the actions because she's supposed to be a reflection. What you think? Like that, like you see where the problem lies? That's a dangerous crown in my estimation to have to hold. You know? Like he's in the wrong because of how she's conducting herself. Let's see.
And so that's what I was talking about. I said, why didn't he step in and say something and de-escalate his wife or de-escalate the situation? Because it did get ugly. And so that's a part of the conversation that he and I had about, the Black woman and the Black man and how they're viewed and whatnot. So that was kind of the behind.
And what was the synopsis? How are we viewed?
They don't have, I don't want to use the word control, but I'm going to use the word control over the Black woman, as in she is the loud, boisterous one, and when they're around.
But the truth is, he's complicit. He's standing there letting that happen, and so therefore he's complicit. Was the argument?
Actually complicit. Okay. We were out somewhere, and the restaurant worker was talking to me and came and said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I'm not talking to me. I'm not sure why he did that. He was sitting right there. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay if I gave you the wrong price and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, why is he talking to me about this? Why are you talking to you? And he's like, probably because he's used to, because there was another group of Black women over there acting a fool while we were sitting there. So that was basically my synopsis was Black men are complicit in how Black women act because they haven't, why aren't you step in and say something? The couple of instances that we saw with the man and the woman together.
I think the argument would be the need of even having to do that. is an issue in itself, right?
Yeah, that's a part of the conversation as well. Needing to having to, how you said it,
Having
needing
to
to,
have to jump in that situation when you're
yeah,
with another grown adult, you know,
right,
in a restaurant setting, seemed unbecoming of that adult with the poor conduct.
correct.
However, association gives me a level of accountability there, but in order to fix the problem, you got to fix the person acting out.
Agreed, and that was my thing.
What you guys think about what I said? Right? Because even think about it, right? When love is talking, and I think we having a conversation. She says, there was another group of black women over there acting a fool when her and Osa were out, and then she makes an assumption, right? Not with any malintent, that the waiter or the server he's accustomed to dealing with black women first in that way because they are complaining. So he just automatically went to her to have a conversation about her and Osa's food being bad or not cooked well, because he's assuming that she's gonna play that role, because that's what the black woman's role often is at a restaurant. So even when she's articulating this out, she doesn't see that addressing the problem first would be more of a consistent or permanent remedy than addressing the man who's with the problem or the person associated with the problem. But now, after I said it sounded like she agreed, but that wasn't her first notion. You know what I mean? And again, I want to be fair. When after I said it, she was like, "Okay, agreed." But she said, black men are complicit in black women's conduct. Is that true? How black women conduct themselves stereotypically, right? The stereotypes that are associated with black women, for whatever the reasons are black men complicit in the assumed modus operandi of black women? Put a 1 in the chat if that's true. Or are we so separated that black women are responsible solely for their conduct and black men have nothing to do with it? Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Jarice was popping with it $2. Says, "Hey mom, Uncle Hamp is on." Indeed. Rock Solid was popping, my brother. He said, "Salute Hamp the GOAT. Appreciate you." I got these dumbass sound effects. Let me see what they sound like. Yo, what's popping? My brother, Mr. McBride, drop your SoundCloud so we can all get familiar. Mr. McBride with the $5 says, What's good, brother Hamp? What's popping? If your wife wants a purse but you say no and she gets it anyway, what are the consequences? What are the consequences? Huh? What are the consequences? You take it back to the store? You got to take it from her to take it back to the store? David, salute for becoming a member, man. Welcome to the family. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, did y'all see this dope interview I had with Trill? Huh? Trill AC was in the building. Salute, man. We had a dope ass interview Tuesday evening, and we talked about a whole bunch of things, but the leadership crown, as I've stated, is very, very heavy, and seemingly it's been aligned with a level of thorns, you know, because it's being used differently. It's not being used so much, from what I'm gathering, as a term of endearment. So you see a lot of pushback about the leadership tag from men themselves, because it's like you're damned you do if you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. Right? Put a 1 in the chat if a man house falls, even if his wife divorces him, are men typically implicated if their family falls apart? Put a 1 in the chat if it's men's fault if their family falls apart. Is it a man's fault? Put a 1 in the chat if it's a man's fault if his family falls apart. Regardless, and I'm talking about what's the sentiment? Is it the man's fault if his family falls apart? Is it the man's fault if his family falls apart? So we got Melly Mel said 2, Red Pill 1, Still Low Key 1, Black Gold 2, Jay Miller, Aaron, Kasim, what's up, Aaron? Darius, what's popping, my brother? 1, D said 1 to an extent. Okay, O'Shea said 1. Ali said 1. Let me see where the ladies at. The brothers all said 1. Israelite Beauty said 1. Then Danielle said 1. Okay, Uncle Rick said 2. Black Gold said 1. Okay, Impress, DK, Journey said 1.5. Matreon, what's up, old dude? Correct me if I'm wrong, said 1. Okay, so it's a lot of 2s. Let me ask you guys a question. If you go over to a married couple's house and the house is dirty, put a 1 in the chat if the woman is typically implicated in that. If the house is not well kept, are women typically implicated? I just want to see where the stereotypes lie. And Callie, the context was simply that family falling apart. What's the general sentiment, right? Maybe not how you would dig into it, but what's the general sentiment? Like if you come to the house, like we married, I come in the house, throw my shoes everywhere. I come in with mud on my boots and shit like that, and we got company. Are they gonna say, "Oh, Hamp came in with these muddy boots," or Callie didn't clean up the house? Because it doesn't matter in either situation who made the mess, because I'm getting a lot of 1s, generally speaking. And so I liken the house being clean to the family being falling apart or not. And regardless of who separated it, who filed the paperwork, men are typically looked at as the reason, the catalyst for it. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Well, let's take a look at this.
Shit like that.
God damn. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Hey, that is real. Everybody think it ain't gonna be them. You know, even when cats is going to war, they think it ain't gonna be me. You know, like real, like outside, really getting it popping. You know, and you know one thing in terms of that, right? Just because you alluded to it, right? When you're young, you think you Superman. And speaking of the panels, you know, we all, when we on a panel, we all got our drawers on the outside of our pants. You know what I mean? We all superheroes, right? It's never us, right? Which I think is just problematic in itself, you know.
Right.
But when we talk about leaders, that was just I just wanted to share that, you know. But
right.
In terms of, just going back to the leaders and in these relationships and etc., and how men often, because we say that men face our consequences each and every day, right? We are accountable because the society holds us accountable, you know. When we fall, stop crying, get up, find a solution. The games in which we play have a winner, you know. Playing house don't have a winner. Having fake tea parties don't have a winner, but we play the games that we get our consequences, you know. So I'm thinking, to your point, that ideology should stand true in all aspects, right? But when we get to that part, when it comes to sex, because it's our nature, you know, now it kind of, the ideology view, you know, like kind of veers off a little bit. You know, do you think most men are leaders?
No. I think leaders are made. They're not born. You gotta go through shit to have the wherewithal and even the bravery to be able to deal with making a decision. You got a lot of dudes out here who's scared.
Are leaders made? Are leaders made or born? Lou, what up? Uncle Rick, what's good? Sis, what's popping? Are leaders made or born? Got me ampy. Are leaders made or born? That's interesting, right? Because if men are the leaders, you know, because we were at the segment previous to this was men are the leaders. So when we're talking about putting on a condom, we have to make sure that we put a condom on. We are the leaders. We should have that level of control. So if that be true, then leaders aren't made. Like, how does that actually fall? Do you have to have certain characteristics? Do you have to be born with innate traits that make you a leader? I don't think it's true that any person can be just made into a leader. I think you have to have a specific set of skills, a specific set of traits that make you a leader. Right? Like, you have to be born with it with certain things. You know, like, again, you guys know what makes sense to every single facet in life. You play football. Players are built naturally to do certain things. There's 22 positions. I'm thinking that leaders are born with certain and specific traits. And then those people can be made into the leaders, right? I think there's a level of grooming and nurture, but they have specific traits already. Right? And then you can mold that person. But if you aren't born with those traits, forget about it. I don't give a damn how much etiquette school or training you go through. I don't think you'll achieve that goal because you don't have those innate traits first. Let's let it play a little bit.
To even make a decision in terms of when things get tough or when things get hard or whatever the case may be. And it's just, again, you made a leader through.
Hold on. So my brother Trill said most men aren't leaders. Ladies, put a 1 in the chat if you think most men are leaders. I mean, that's a good point. I like that. Ladies, do you guys think that men are leaders? The leaders? Ladies, put a 1 in the chat if you think that the men are leaders. Ladies, put a 1 in the chat if you think the men are leaders. I'm going to let it play.
Fire. You made a leader based on what you overcame. It's kind of similar to that resume that we was talking about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Most guys that are successful, they went through hell to be successful.
CC, count up them 2s for me. What up, Remy? Put a 1 in the chat, ladies, if you think men are leaders.
Then you just get it handed to them, you know, or whatever the case may be. Like, they had to go through some grueling shit, or even if it did get handed to them, they went through hell to maintain it. Because we all know a lot of dudes, even in the street, who have money or whatever the case may be, and then we look at them now and they are a shell of themselves. It's like, damn, bro, you used to be that in the hood, man. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot.
You were the man, homie, right? My bad. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of, you know, failing and falling and bumping your head and getting back up and learning from it and not repeating the same mistakes and things of that nature. It takes a lot of that for you to be able to walk around and beat your chest and say, I'm a leader. But you can't walk around beating your chest and say I'm a leader when you ain't accomplished shit. Like what have you accomplished? Which goes back to what we was talking about earlier. When I look at that resume, is it going to be a lot of check marks on it, or is it going to be a lot of incompletes? If it's a lot of incompletes, then you can't walk around beating your chest saying I'm a leader just because you're a man. You are not.
Yeah.
It's about leading people. It's about like who have you helped? Who have you put on? A lot of these guys be bragging about the money they make or whatever the case may be. Yeah, you making money and everybody around you broke.
Yeah.
You a horrible leader. Because if you was the leader you supposed to be, they shouldn't have. They maybe not have as much money as you, but everybody should be straight. Or everybody.
Think about that, right? Let's say we assume Trill is correct and he says leaders go through hard shit and then they go through even harder things to maintain the things in which they lead to get to that point of being a leader. Damn. Is that true? You got to go through hell and high water to be a leader, to be a good leader? And we get it, heavy at the head that wears the crown, but it's just like, look at the earth in which we live in, man. There's so many controlling factors. When you look on these FBI watch lists, as an example, it's like, look who's up there. Warranted, I think a lot of them are warranted 100%, but you express different ideologies than what are going along with the mainstream media and the current messaging, and now you're looked at as something negative. You know, I looked at did you guys see that race out in Oregon where a transgender a man who transitioned to a woman for whatever whatever the level is in high school won a track meet, and the people booed. And you know, Oregon is blue for the most part. But 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. You know, so maybe the world is opening back it up to where you can have an opinion that doesn't go with the masses and it be okay. But with the world as it is, you know, a lot of people are like pigeonholed, you know. And so to lead in this type of society can be tough, man. And then if you're implicated for everything that your subordinates do, even if you can't dish consequences, that is a horrible place to have to lead. You know, just imagine that. I can't deal consequences, right? Like you can't even spank your kids like we could back in the day. Now, I'm not a proponent of spanking. But generally speaking, you can't even do that anymore. Not in the same level. And then we wonder why truancy is running them up. You saw the majority of men. The Senate in Kentucky is majority white men, and they voted for retroactive child support during the months of gestation. During the 10 months, men can be pursued for back child support for the 10 months in which a woman is pregnant. It's a difficult place to lead because so many decisions have been taken out your hands. You know? But Trill's saying you go through hard shit. That's what makes you a leader for real. Because of what you have to do to get there and then to also maintain it. Let's listen a little bit more.
Everybody should be given opportunities, but who have you helped? Who have you put on? Who are you taking care of? Who have you led?
Yeah, no, real shit.
Shit like that, shit like that, shit like that,
100%.
shit like that, shit
and
like that.
You know, on that point, right? Again, I'm just giving you the arguments that you may hear, right? In terms of devil advocate or pushback. The pushback is, you know, in terms of leading our women, you know, I generally think that, you know, black people should be together, you know, in terms of relationship, just my sentiment. Our women don't want to be led. can you lead someone that doesn't want to be led is the overarching sentiment. So even if we are good leaders, they don't want to be led, so it's a moot point. What you think?
Again, I think with issues like that, we got to start at the root. Why is she so uncomfortable being led by a man? More times than not, because she's never seen a great leader that was a man.
Yeah.
Just like these same guys will go on there and give advice and say, "Hey, man, date women who had their dad in the home." Why is that? It's because she's gonna respect leadership more because she's seen it. She's seen a guy who was busting his ass and accomplished and who was able to create structure for her family to survive and to thrive on. So when I get outside and I'm finding a man, I'm gonna be way more willing to follow a lead, right? But if I grew up and the dad wasn't in the home and I'm seeing my mama struggle and I'm seeing my mama take care of men who are unworthy of, you know what I'm saying, being in the household, period. When I get outside, I'm gonna have a lack of trust for male leadership because I've never seen a great leader. So again, it starts with us being in the homes more. We got to provide the example to a woman that we want them to follow. But if she's never seen an example, how can you blame her for being uncomfortable following a male lead? So again, it all ties back to the leader in society, which is the men. But we don't want to take accountability with that. And I think that's why we keep going in circles.
Damn. So the sentiment is, and you guys heard it, I'm just gonna re-articulate it quickly, is that they've seen poor men as examples growing up, and therefore, why would you expect them to be willing to trust a good black man to follow when they've never seen a great example? Is that viable? Put a one in the chat. They've seen men be subordinate to women. They've seen women leading the households. Why would they expect anything different from their lives, for their lives? Is that a sound sentiment? Is that a sound synopsis? Are you a leader if you're only leading yourself? There's a couple points. You know? Lou, I'm not sure, Lou. I'm not 100% sure. I think YouTube could be enough if he does employ people and has platforms, right? But I'm not sure what he does outside of work at this juncture. But if you've never seen a good example of something, and then you trust, you've never seen a good example of a man being a great leader. You've seen women leading, right? Having the voice. Then when you grow up and you need to get into a partnership, I'm just using that word, partnership, marriage, relationship, with the women, right? Looking at those same men who they saw be under women their entire lives. What should men expect from those women? Do they expect them to be questioning their leadership? Do they expect them to want to have the same amount of say-so and sway in that relationship? It sounds like it would make sense to me. B. Sammy was popping. That's interesting, man. Damn. You know. And how does it work, man? If you're a good leader, do people fall in line? Rojo said he's in finance, Lou. Do people fall in line with good leaders? Does it matter what her upbringing was? Will she be able to readily identify a great leader? Like, what's the reality? Will women be able to identify a man as a great leader? If they even agree that men are leaders. And from the from the chat, there were more twos than ones in terms of are men the leaders from the women. Damn, that is. So let me think. So if I'm the winner, I believe myself to be a good leader. I've led a decent amount of things. I definitely can improve, in several facets. Generally speaking, when I'm in charge of something or put in charge, I can generally do a decent job of galvanizing the troops. But oftentimes it's something that I'm professional in, or I have enough reps in, like to be considered an authority in terms of what it is that we're doing. So if you look at like football, right? I talk about football. When I start talking football, people can understand that I know what I'm talking about, and therefore they show a level of like respect. I think presence and all that stuff matters for sure, but I've seen people fall in line. But the key is they were already bought in. They're already there to do the thing. So with the kids, they're there to play football. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I'm going to drop this link. I think I've spoken enough. I want to get the conversation going with everybody in the chat because it's interesting, man. It really is interesting, like how this shit really shakes out. Because that leadership, and I'm being hyperbolic in the title, but when you look at men and we're looking at how you're the leader, right? You're the leader, right? You're the leader, right? Well, get us in line. Well, do this. Make sure she knows this and understands this. You're complicit in how we operate. But then what can you do to get anybody in line? Can anybody really shape anybody? Can you mold anybody? Does the willingness have to be there? I know I'm not going to make any changes unless I want to make a change. You know? Ali was popping. Let me get myself out the way.
What's going on, my brother?
What's good? How you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm trying to stay alive, man. Trying to be a good leader.
That's it, bro. It ain't easy.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Yeah, man. So I think you were here from the beginning. And I just concerned about it. And you know, I'm being hyperbolic, right, when I'm saying the worst thing that happened to us. But I'm almost questioning, am I? Because we get I talked enough. Go ahead. What you think?
It's too many contradictions. We focus on leaders. We can't define what a leader is, but then we don't speak about bad followers. If more bad leaders are getting rewarded than good leaders, if there's more broken homes than marriages, the women are rewarding bad leaders instead of good leaders. And then when we get to places where people could take terminology or whatever narrative they want to create based on the fact that they say men are crying and complaining to get different results from men, but then love will see a man across the room and go, oh, that man is complacent. So which one is it? Is the man trying to instruct and he's just a bad leader that a woman doesn't love and respect, or is this a great leader and he's telling his woman how she should be led, but she's being he's not telling her and he's enabling her and he's being complicit. They got to pick the side. And the biggest contradiction, you know what? When you say men were weak, I disagree with you, right? But I disagree with you because I feel if we're going to say men are leaders, they are qualified. Most men are still qualified to be leaders. But I do agree with you right now that men don't push back and have no backbone, or I'll say finally conform to what women shame men into being, and other pandering men as well too, instead of pandering women to be what men want them to be the so-called leaders, because they don't have consequences. If you live in a household, your woman cannot have no sex with you. She can decide not to cook. She could do all these kind of things where she don't want to have no interactions with you. But if you take any type of break like that, your relationship is done. She'll leave you. There's no consequences you can give your woman.
So yeah,
other than leave.
Yeah, leave, right? And let's be honest, you know, you have problems, but that's like an ultimate consequences. Generally we want to work shit out. I think men love hard, you know.
Oh yeah.
So Ali, the pushback is right, and I want you to answer, right? I'm just like similar like how I was asking Trill. Why did she get to that point? How did she get to that point? Not wanting to have sex with you, not wanting to do X, Y, and Z. The argument would be you pushed her to that point. You meaning men, right? When she don't want to have sex with you and stuff no more.
Right.
What you think?
The same way if I wanted sex from a woman and I demonstrated the great qualities of a man, I demonstrated a great leader. I did anything she asked for, and as soon as I got some, I ghosted her. The same way women switching bait. She never did that before. He didn't commit to no type of woman that wasn't giving him sex on demand, that wasn't cooking, that wasn't cooperating with him, and then she switched.
So sorry. Did I?
So
Was I
we
clear?
know as brothers, we know as brothers up here, right? When the women like you, they're gonna do backflips, cartwheels, do the nastiest, freakiest kind of things they can get from you. They will pursue you harder than you pursue them. Soon as you get in a relationship with them, it becomes her territory. Now you have to work for her. She start making it about herself, and she tries to move like the leader. Women switch and bait.
Damn,
Bait and switch. Excuse me, my brother.
Okay, so what it is it may not be necessarily that he's changed up. Is that now he's on the hook, and now she just start taking things from him, sex, cooking. Like, is that?
You the most powerful when you single. You have all the power in the world. You can get everything when you single. You can do whatever you want. She knows you're the most powerful when you single. When you commit to the marriage, she becomes the most powerful under the market of the marriage we have now. When you make that agreement, you can lose anything. You can lose everything. She's not losing anything. You can lose your woman and you lose your family, where a woman will sacrifice you for her feelings, regardless of what happens to the kids or the family. We don't hold the followers. We don't hold them accountable enough, and how much today's followers are ruining families versus men who will stay in a relationship. Even if she switches and she bakes and switches, he'll still stay dedicated to the relationship. And we know that based on the data. Men get married and most women leave, and black women have the highest amount of any group of divorce rates being higher than marriage rate. And black men, 500,000 more black men married than black women.
Okay. I'm gonna let that marinate a little bit. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Yo, Mr. McBride said no turtleneck, Kasim.
It's summertime, man. Sorry about that. I got a new stand, and the thing just totally just collapsed. So sorry about that, y'all.
All good. It's all good. Tony with the $5 says, if men are the leaders, they should have the freedom to be heavy-handed. If it's gonna fall on them, then they should have carte blanche to correct people. Jarice with the $2, with the $5 says, men, me and you got to do a one-on-one, cause you behind the times. Nah, the truth is, I'm asking a question. Jarice, look at my title. Look at the title. So we actually get into it. I'm trying to understand it. Ronnie with the $2 says, man, what happened to the DJ set, famo? Yeah, I'm traveling, so I didn't bring my turntable. So we definitely going to Harlem. I think I should be home next week. We definitely going to Harlem. So I got you. Vet Life with the $10 says, so by his logic, a lot of the women in the USA never seen a good leader is why they are out of control. Let's talk about it. Let's not relegate it to just us. No, 100%. Valerie was popping with the 20 bosses hand. Thank you for the other night. I appreciate your kindness in the chats regarding my son. Well, yeah, once you shared it, what I said was exactly what I felt and meant. We love you. You know, a kid going before their parents is I think all the men up here that have children would say they would never want that. But we genuinely appreciate all the support you show us up here. And it means a lot, you know. And that Bible dope as shit, man. We had a great conversation, so I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you got something out of it. Did I read this one already? Did I read this one? Yeah, I read this one. Okay. So Kasim, yeah, man. We talking through it, you know. Good to see you, man. I miss you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You could comment on what I was asking Ali if you want, or you could just on my general synopsis. But I'm thinking it's a weapon. Men are leaders. That phrase is almost like a weapon now.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I some of the points Trill was saying I can relate to. Some of the things, the way that he was speaking, the context that he was speaking in, I can tell that either A, he's been in a leadership position before, he's been in leadership for some time, and he's had really good training as far as getting to the nuts and bolts of what a leader is and how a leader should conduct himself. And one of the things that I know as far as being a leader in my personal life is that you really have to have an opportunity to know the people under your covering. You have to know what their strengths are what their weaknesses are. And then you have to use that knowledge to give them certain responsibilities based upon the task that you want to have done. And I'll give you an example. Last week, I had a guy to do a project for us, and I was away from the office and I was giving him feedback as far as what directions to go to and where to go and how to do it. But he ended up failing in that project. And I had a meeting with my boss, and he asked me a series of questions. He was like, Kasim, he was like, out of all the people in the department, why did you choose him? And I had to run down the attributes that I noticed that he had. I had to also speak about his background, what he had. I also had to speak about other individuals in the department and their background to see who was the best fit. And even though I thought that he was the best fit, as I went down the attributes, I found out that I was wrong. I found out that there was somebody else that I could have used in the department to make sure that that particular project was successful as it was. And that was a really big learning phase for me of really getting a better opportunity of knowing the people under my covering, knowing their good things, their bad things, and then selecting the right individual for that job. Because at the end of the day, I was accountable for that because I selected, because he broke it down to me like you selected this person based upon X, Y, and Z. You didn't do a really good job of knowing the background of the individual. You negated other people with other responsibilities that were more qualified, but you chose this person. And then when he broke it down to me, I was dead wrong. I was accountable for those particular results that he did because I should have chose better based upon my information. So I kind of get it. And
Well, question,
I believe that
question,
this. What's up?
Kasim, not to, I want to mess up your stream of thought. However, does that make you a bad leader?
No, it doesn't make me a bad leader. Um, what it did was that I made the poor choice, and as part of being a leader, some of the choices you make are going to work out well, and some of them are not going to work out so well. But at the end of the day, I have to really go back and triage exactly what I did wrong, how I can make it better, and then move on from them. I still got the respect of my department. And even me and Jacob had a one-on-one conversation after the incident had happened, and I had broken down the steps as far as what he could have done, what he missed out on, and it was a learning experience for the both of us. We were still cool. He still respected me as his manager. I'm still well respected within the department. But I think as a leader, there's a lot of accountability that you have to take because it's really based upon you knowing your people and the choices that you make to give that person that responsibility. And if it doesn't work out, it is on you.
Now, Ali, I felt like, I could be wrong, that you wanted to also inquire with Kasim.
I did, and it's the pushback I get with a whole episode of where men don't push back and just keep enabling and conforming to the same thing people are pushing. Were you still a leader? If you made if you ran a bad business, but you still had a business that was operating, were you still the leader?
Yes.
So that's the thing. What I'm talking about. We a lot of men come up here and start discussing, and I love you, Kasim, but sometimes you do it too. And we start talking about how we run our businesses in a good way. But you can also be a bad leader, but you still the leader. No matter what, that you still the person that's in a position of power. So what men will do to contradict themselves is they'll say, "We'll go. Are men the leaders? The women will do it too. Yes, men are the leaders. It's only, but it's not. I know you don't do that, but people are trying to do it to make men look bad. But then we'll turn right back around and say men aren't the leader. They aren't leaders, and they're not manageable. So we got to pick one. Are they leaders? But they're just good. There's good, and they're bad leaders.
Kasim?
No, I agree. I think every man has certain attributes that make him more successful as a leader, and some men don't. Those particular attributes, as I said in the chat, they have to be shaped and molded and cultivated, right? You have to be with certain men that can help you bring those traits and those attributes out. And then some men, they are better than others. I'll give you an example. Remember the movie 300, right? When the little boys were training, right? And then some of the boys, did make the training, and some of the boys got killed, and some of the boys got their arms cut off, and some of the boys didn't make it. And they would take them and throw them off of the cliff. It's the same type of thing, right? Those particular boys had that leadership in them, but they were trying to cultivate it, and some of them didn't cultivate as successfully as others. And the ones that did eventually were the ones to be able to be in the fight, to be the true leaders, while the other ones were good followers.
I would concede 100% to the stuff you're saying, but I think the conversation is that I'm thinking we're trying to discuss is how the leader is we're finding ways to weaponize the leaders. Kasim, if you're an independent contractor and no one's under you, are you a bad leader and you run a good business?
No, I'm not a bad leader. No.
But that's what we sit and do. We'll change the definition on in the flow. We'll go. Is anybody following you? Then you're not a leader. But then men are leaders. We keep doing it. We keep double talking entire shows, and the thing that I take away from it, that if the men are doing what women want them to do, and if the men are doing what the men that shame them to do, what the women want them to do, are doing those things, he's a phenomenal leader. But if he's not conceding, if he's not doing what women are doing, the women and those brothers shame that man and say he's not a good leader. And then they'll go, when things fall all apart, the business falls apart, the relationship falls apart. Hap was complacent. Kasim was complacent. Red Pill was complacent. Ali was complacent. But they're running the relationships now.
Damn. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. And that's why I wanted to take the time. Let's walk it down. Because like Ali's saying, we'll get into, not today, I'm not saying today, but we'll get into battles. And now there's a bunch of points being made and we don't get to quite walk it down, you know? Red Pill, what say you?
First of all, how everybody doing?
What's popping?
What's up, fam?
What's up? So, Hemp, you're right. Leadership, the term leadership is being weaponized at this point. It's being weaponized and used to attack and shame man, and it's being purposely poorly defined by men and women.
Okay.
They want to give man ultimate responsibility with limited power. But the thing is, if I'm going to have ultimate responsibility, I want ultimate power to do whatever, big caps, all capital letters, whatever I deem needed so that it can be successful. If I don't have ultimate power, I shouldn't have ultimate responsibility. It's funny you're doing this because today I had a show plan that's literally titled "Responsibility Without Power is Akin to Slavery." And that's the world we live in, where, because it's like you, prime example, I was a platoon sergeant. I had up to 30 soldiers at one point. I was their leader. I was in charge of them. But as Specialist Smith go home and beat his wife, I had nothing to do with that. He's a grown man. Now, when we find out about it, we got to give him his Article 15 and consequences. But there was nothing I could do to stop that, even though I'm his leader. We tell our soldiers in the military, don't drink and drive. Tell them every day. But if Specialist Johnson go drink and drive, I'm not responsible for this grown man that's 33. Sometimes I had soldiers older than me that go drink and drive, but I was his leader. The leader is not always responsible for the degenerate conduct of the follower, because we want to. This thing, it boils down to, are women adults or children? Like in Love example, are they adults or children? And how much can we do when these people don't want to follow? Society, we can't put the pause on them. We can't even yell at them. We can't, like you said, we can't take money away from them. That's financial abuse. You got financial abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse. Like, what are you can't do none of that, and it's wrong. So what are you really supposed to do with a degenerate besides literally cut them out? That's what we do in the Army. We show that you can't follow, we put you out. We can't make them be better. We can't make them follow. We literally kick them out the Army. And that proves that you could be the best leader in the world, but you can't make a degenerate follow. If that was true, soldiers won't be getting Article 15s and kicked out the doggone military daily, different ones, daily. Every day it's a soldier getting Article 15 chaptered out the doggone Army. Because you can't lead everybody.
Red Pill, do you believe that, just as I was in the military too as well, right? Do you believe that the women should blindly follow the man just because he's a man? Or do you believe that women need to see a certain pattern of consistency and competence in order for them to truly follow? Just as us in the military, we just couldn't be a sergeant. We just couldn't be this. There are certain things that we had to go through in order for us to warrant that particular position. And that position was respected because of the consistency that we had, and we were able to get good results. Do you think that that man has to show proof of his competence and his good results in order for her to follow, or should she just blindly follow because he's a man?
She should have, yeah, she should have already know that before he became her man. You don't choose someone to be your man with all kinds of doubts on his leadership. So once you chose this man to be your man, yes, you should blindly follow him. Because if you can't, then he should never be your man. See, women want to choose non-leaders, lay with non-leaders, and then complain about their lack of leadership on the back end. But the thing is, if he was such a shitty leader, why is he even in your life in the first place?
I'm just a big believer in the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in your works. And if she can see that you can be consistent and competent in some areas, it makes it a hell of a lot easier for her to follow. I don't believe that once you give a woman a set of instructions that you can just walk off and she's going to walk that course straight. I do believe that during that time, you're going to have to do some course correcting because that's just how they are. Right. And if men are not willing to do that course correcting, I think that's when a lot of things kind of get off course and a lot of things go wrong. And then they wonder what happened because they didn't course correct the women, which they actually appreciate. So I get what you're saying, fam. I really do. But again, I think that as men, we have to show proof of our competence, of our stability in order to make it easier, for them to follow. But also it's going to work out in our best interest. We're going to benefit from that. We're going to see more successes in the things that we do and the individuals that are around. So it's a win-win for both of us.
But this is a flaw with people's concept of leadership. People ignore the symbiotic relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. The leader and the follower have a symbiotic relationship that's on each other, codependent. The leader has responsibility and the follower has just as much, just a different kind. You had a responsibility to lead them in the right direction, and they had a responsibility to follow. But people in today's society, when they weaponize leadership, they like to take away the other side of leadership, which is the follower aspect. They just focus on a leader. But you have to be a good and willing and competent follower. And that's what people always ignore.
So wait, one thing though, right? I like that point. However, the conversation that you and Kasim were having, I want to finish it. I think that's what happens. We make a couple points after a couple points, and I know Ali wanted to get in, but course correction. You would agree with that, right, Red Pill? In terms of leading anybody, women included, you have to give a level of correction. That's why we do in the army or at football, you do drills of the same shit over and over every day because those techniques, when people start getting comfortable, they start to lose their technique a little bit. When
Yes,
they get better. Go ahead.
I believe in course correction, but like I said, the person got to be willing to correct. And you got to have, more importantly, authority and power to do stuff when they don't course correct. And that's one of the main problems. Again, responsibility without power is akin to slavery.
Okay. And then one other thing you were saying about the woman, why is that man in her life? One of the points Trill was making was that they don't even know how to identify a man as a good leader. But then furthermore, the same argument would be given back to why is that woman who can't identify a leader in your life?
And it's the thing, the flaw with Trill's point is that women are adults. It's something called the age of accountability. And in the Black community, we forget about it. Just like we constantly forget about the age of accountability. This woman is an adult. Regardless of what happened in her childhood, it's up to her as an adult to know better, do better, become better, either through church, either through counseling, either through therapy, even through self-development, even through mentorship, whatever it is. It's the age of accountability. So yes, she might have not seen this in her childhood. My childhood was terrible. If I was now what I was in my childhood, wouldn't be living like I'm living. You have so the childhood. I understand it happens, but again, the age of accountability, and we don't hold people to that, and that's the problem. So regardless of what she's seen, she's an adult now, and we are women
Red pill.
adults. One last thing: are women adults or children? Are they adults or children? See, we disrespect them and we treat them like children, but then they want to yell they're adults. So what is it going to be? See, I respect women. I understand that they can understand stuff. So when they do something wrong, I know who did it. It was them, not me. You an adult with a functioning mind. They want to say they're the most degree people. They smarter than us. They got more degrees than us and all that. Yet at the same time, they want to be like, oh, I'm just a woman. I didn't know any better. It's all on the man. I know it's not what I do. Like, which one is it? Are you retarded or smart?
Red pill, but this is why it was kind of important for Kasim to get in, because again, I wanna, like Ali said earlier, we do a. I'm gonna say we. I know y'all mean. You guys know I mean it in just. We do a bad job of walking it down. We make a bunch of points at one time. Now that's 2 good points that I have to catalog that you made that we gotta walk down because we still in the midst of walking down the first one. Right? It's like three different segments. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. They just all correlate. Like I said, I had a show plan similar to this today, so I had already had it formulated in my mind.
I can tell. Go ahead, Kasim, and then Ali, you could jump back in. I know you wanted that. Or no, you know what? Ali, did you want to ask? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Kasim. So both of them, we doing it again. Kasim, are most women marriageable?
Are most women marriageable? No.
Okay, and data shows that as well too, right?
Yes.
Most of our women are the highest. The divorce rate. Do our women have the highest divorce rate?
Yes.
Women leaving men even when they get married. So why
Yes.
did you did so? But that's you're making my point, and respectfully, you're pandering. You're telling him about what a woman will do if he's this great leader, if he's constructing his life a certain type of way, that a woman will follow you. When that is showing whether she's in a relationship or marriage, she doesn't follow. So why are you going to coach him about how? Hold on. I didn't. Hey, Kasim, I didn't finish. You know I didn't finish, brother. Why was your first response coaching him on how to be a better leader if data shows women don't follow whether then if a woman is creating a broken home before she marries in a relationship, if a woman divorces when she marries, it means women are not following. So why was your first response to coach the brother and what a good leader is, when all of us that are on this panel at least know what a good leader is?
Because I'm under the assumption that the men that they were with probably lacked relationship skills, probably lacked communication skills, probably lacked conflict resolution skills, probably lacked compromise, probably lacked the proper foresight for the women, for them to be comfortable in a relationship with that particular man. Right? That's what I truly believe. I don't believe all men out here just have gone through the fire, they've gone through the internal work to change themselves, to change the way that they think, to produce results in their life, to have the right foresight, to have the right mindset, to have the right relationship skills to even be in a relationship. I'm a big proponent of believing that most men are not, right? But I do also believe that women respond to certain attributes in men collectively. And if those men can find out exactly what those attributes are and be that, not only will he get better outcomes from his relationships in general, but he'll get better outcomes in his life as well. And I'm just a big proponent and honing in on those attributes that's going to get you the most success. Relationships aren't perfect. It does take a little work, but it also takes a lot of compromise, a lot of negotiating. And as men, as we are the leaders, there has to be a level of proof and a level of evidence and things that we say and the things that we do, right? In order to make it better for the union and also better for the individuals that's under our covering. And I'll never stack on that.
Okay, so let's say you're right. Let's say these are bad leaders, right?
Mhm.
Majority of men don't get access to women. Majority don't men don't get sex with women. So if they're bad leaders, why are they getting sex from women? Why are they getting access from women? Why are they communicating with? Why are women communicating with them? Why are women attaching to these men if they're bad leaders?
Because there's an exchange that happens. They get masculinity from these men. They get those masculine traits, that masculine energy from those men, even though they may not qualify in certain attributes of leadership. But those masculine traits are there that they gravitate to and that they want, that they need. It's the same thing as men. No, I don't think there's any man that doesn't love a feminine woman, right? So there's certain attributes of femininity that we're
No,
just
no, I'm not
attracted
actually.
to.
I'm not. You're moving it again.
That's
I'm
just my
asking
statement.
you.
No, that's just my
I'm
statement.
asking you. How are they getting access to these women? And you went straight to masculinity. You're not putting the
I
burden
just
on
told
her.
you.
No, does he? So he's masculine. Is the good guy masculine?
Yes.
Is the good leader masculine?
Yes.
So that's a moot point. There's no reason to talk about that. They're both masculine. So you're doing it again. You're discussing about men. You made it about men again. I'm gonna ask you again. And put the burden on women. If you don't acknowledge it or not, the highest responsibility goes to men when a relationship starts. The biggest burden of the relationship goes
Correct.
to the woman because she has to keep the leader. So I'm gonna ask you again: if that man is such a bad leader, why are the bad leaders getting sex and getting access to women, and those women dealing with those men instead of the good men who have masculinity? So now you can't use that. That's a moot point. So race masculinity. What is the other reason why women are connecting to these men?
Because those bad men have certain sexual characteristics, or they know the sexual cues of women, and they hone in on that. That's why
So
these bad men know they know what turns women on, and they know how to freak it, and they know how to work it in order to get what they want to get. That's why it's the sexual chemistry, man, and they know how to hone in on that. That's why those bad men are getting those women.
And that's
So
on the
you
woman
still went
then,
to
right?
Red Pill. Slow down, please slow down, brother. Please, let's not go away from the point. So now they're dealing with these men for sex.
Ali, can I ask you a clarifying question? I don't want to derail you and Kasim's conversation. I just want to ask, is sex the actual qualifier though? Like, can sex be used as a qualifier? Is sex even that important now to, like, you know what I mean? Like, does that mean much that he's getting boxed?
That's the Kasim, right?
No, that's it. Well, maybe,
Now it's you.
yeah, maybe to you.
Oh,
Like, does the sex matter that much, Ali? Like, remember, you know what I mean? Like, is that
oh,
a real qualifier for anything?
we know it's a qualifier, right?
Okay.
Why? Okay, and if we bring that into that, it's still going to be another mute point because good men can get sex. Good men get sex, and good men know women as well too. You know what? We'll conflate good men with weak men. Are you a good man, Hemp?
I think so.
Are you a weak man?
No,
Are you a sucker?
no,
Is a woman going to walk over you?
no.
We talk like women on these panels. And Kasim, no disrespect for you. You're speaking in the narrative of what women talk because good men, I'm a good man. I hope Red Pill's a good man. I hope you a good man. Ain't nobody just gonna run over me. And you conflate you talking the way women talk when they speak about good men and bad men, as if bad men are masculine and good men aren't. As if bad men are strong and good men aren't. As if a good man can't make a woman come and a bad man can. That's what and you're disqualified. Now you use two bad disqualifiers. You use sex and you use masculinity when both those men are doing that as well too.
But I said that. I said good men are masculine too as well. But we also cannot negate the fact that sex plays a really, really big proponent in why people get together. We can't negate that. And there's some men that's able to take that sexual energy and put it on a woman, or have that sexual energy to be seen in a woman versus other men. Right? We can't negate that. And we know that the chemistry between men and women is one of the biggest drawing points why we get together.
So good men don't have sexual attraction attributes that's sexually attractive to them, but bad men. What makes a bad man sexually attractive to women? This is what you're doing. I'm just going off your argument. Bad men have sexual attraction power. Good men don't. This is what you're doing. This is your premise. These are the premises
No,
you're
I didn't say that. No, Ali, I did not say that. Good men have good sexual attributes as well. Bad men have good attributes as well. But for some reason, that bad man has more checks in the box when it comes to that sexual access, that sexual energy, that sexual prowess than the good guy. That's what I'm saying. So
So it's easy. You need to figure out, okay, why is the bad guys getting more access than the good guys? There's certain attributes, whether it's height, whether his voice, whether how he carries, whether his his smell, his swag, all of those particular sexual cues is going to drive women to men a certain way versus a man that don't have those exact sexual cues. And we know
Okay,
that.
so are they good leaders?
And who good leaders?
Are those men good leaders? Because you start off by saying they weren't good
I
leaders.
don't. I mean, but if we're talking about sex, sex doesn't make you
Kasim,
a good
please
leader.
don't.
We have to talk about no,
Kasim, please.
Ali. If in
No,
order
no,
for
you
us to
don't have
talk
to
about
add
good leaders,
context,
Ali,
Kasim. You don't,
and
Kasim,
no, we have
please,
to.
Kasim,
We
we having
have
a debate.
to.
No, no.
But you're asking me a different question about
But let's,
leadership, and we haven't talked about
no.
any attributes
Okay,
of a leader. I'm not going to say he's a good leader just because
you
he's good at
did.
sex.
That's what you
No,
started
I
out the
did not. No, I did not. No, Ali. No, sorry, I did not.
Okay, let's do this.
If we want to talk about if that man is a good leader, we have to go through some leadership characteristics, qualities, and attributes and mine those out to see if he's a good leader or not. I just can't say if a person's a good leader if I don't have any evidence of what they've done and
We're
what they've
pandering.
achieved. No,
The
I'm not
reason why we
pandering.
got
I'm
the
talking,
reason.
no, I'm not
Okay,
pandering.
Kasim.
How,
The reason why
Ali, how is, Ali,
the
how is
reason
that
look,
pandering?
look, look, look,
If you're
you
asking
asked. I'm
me,
about to tell.
if you're
I'm
asking,
telling you. You asked me a question. I'm about to tell you. The reason why we got here is because we disqualified those brothers. I said, hey, if they're bad leaders, why are women listening to them? You say because of masculinity and sex. You contradicting yourself, and that's a checkmate. And
no,
if you
that's
continue to
not
be
a checkmate.
disingenuous,
It's true.
then
Ali,
why'd you?
you dead wrong, fam. No, you not.
I'm not.
Ali, do you understand that women respond to certain attributes in men? That women
Yes,
respond to certain characters, attributes, and triggers in men. They
yes,
do. Some men
yes,
have more and some men have less. But
yes.
overall, women have the
All
same
right.
type of thing that they're attracted to that they
Right.
go to.
So
We
why?
can't
Okay. So
negate that.
Kasim, you see you're triggered, right? You see you're triggered, right? Like you
No, I'm
triggered
not
now.
triggered. I'm just trying to get my point across.
Why do we start talking? Why did you list masculinity and sex? Why? How do we get there? If you were listening to the conversation, how do we get to you?
Because you asked me how did those Ali, you asked me how did those bad men get access to those women, and I said through sex.
if they were
That's what I
bad
said.
leaders? If they were bad leaders, now you don't want to say they're bad leaders.
So, but that's the one thing that's what I'm saying. Sex isn't a great qualifier given this day and age. That doesn't qualify a man as a good or bad leader. That qualifies him as being attractive or not. Because sex is tied to zero at this point. Maybe unfortunate. However, it is a thing. Attraction is what got him access. So when we get back to the
Correct.
leadership conversation, where are we at? Where are we at? And then what's a bad man necessarily? Is a bad man one who just wants sex from a woman? Is that a bad man?
No, no, it's not at all.
I would say no.
Yeah. So what's a bad Ali? What's a bad man? Like what would we characterize as a bad man? Just quickly, like what would be a bad man?
A bad man just quickly someone who takes advantage of somebody for his own benefit without reciprocating.
Okay. And is sex equal exchange?
If we both consent, yes.
Yeah, of course. Consenting sex is equal exchange. So
Yep, it's an
and
equal exchange.
so in that juncture, a man getting sex from a woman, he wouldn't be qualified as a bad man, right?
No, if I'm being deceitful in the manner that I'm trying to get something, then we can possibly consider him a bad man. If a woman is saying she wants to be married to a man, but actually with him for trying to get his money, she'd be considered a bad woman.
Okay. And then that makes sense. The manipulation to
Mhm.
get what you want, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. So where were we at now? Yeah, Ali, can you break down? And Kasim is a tangible example as we keep the conversation going forward. Not that he's a tangible example, but you use the terminology. So like, what is a panderer? Because I don't think you see Kasim as a panderer. You say he was pandering. So
Yes.
what is it like? What like because we use a lot of terms like so. I want to when I hear it, I want to identify it so we can all be on the same page.
So
What is a pandering? A panderer.
typically a man that has to make men look bad to make himself look good to women, even if he doesn't have access to these women, even if he gets nothing from these women, in order to get validation from them women to make those women look good, they do it by making men look bad. They will not hold women accountable. They'll keep going straight to the women and they'll ignore the man. They'll hold men. For instance, if a man is single and childless, he's an incel. If and the man will say this too, if a woman is single without and childless, she's single by choice. We do this on it. If a woman is single mother, she's strong and independent. If a father now in today's time of day, if he's single, if he's a single father, he's a baby daddy. Women are reversing the narratives and making the man the scapegoat for what they were supposed to do initially. So what men do to stay neutral and not kind of make themselves look bad to women, they'll coach and say what a good leader is instead of. And Kasim is a different type. I respect Kasim. Kasim will say what a leader should be. He don't really personalize it and go at the actual person, but he'll talk about what men should do. But he will not continue. He will not hold the women accountable, because if you get to what he just said, we would have to hold women accountable for rewarding bad leaders if we're telling brothers to practice dick discipline and stop having sex with hoes.
Okay. Go ahead, Kasim.
I have no problem with holding women accountable, right? But at the end of the day, I understand that women are women, and the likelihood of them accepting accountability is like running up against a brick wall, right? I do hold women accountable. I have dozens of women in my department, and I hold them accountable, and they receive it. So it's not like them doing that. I think, coming from the leader standpoint, if we're going to have better outcomes, then we really have to kind of check ourselves and look and examine ourselves to see if we can really optimize those attributes and those traits to get the best outcome as possible, right? Because at the end of the day, they do respond to certain attributes and characteristics, and they do gravitate to that. So I'm a big proponent in getting those attributes, becoming that particular individual, right? So you can get more, not only outcomes for yourself, but also outcomes from everybody around you. And I'll never fall from that.
Women are women, but aren't they adults first? Aren't they adults too?
Yes.
So they should accept
Yeah.
accountability. They should accept accountability regardless of their gender. Saying I know women are women.
Wait.
Yeah, but Red Pill, we know men and women, we think different, fam. We
But
do.
men,
If we know that we
men,
operate different, right? And if we want them to think like us, I don't think we'd want them. I
we
wouldn't
don't
want a
have to
woman
accept
that
it.
thought like a
We
man.
don't have to accept that an adult refuses to take accountability. And that's part of the problem. We say stuff like women are women, and we know they're not going to accept accountability. Hence, it is what it is. And that's the problem.
Okay.
We know women are women. They don't like to accept accountability, but you going to accept accountability when fucking with me because you're an adult. And that's how we need to be as men.
I don't think that most red pill. There are not a lot of men that can be able to take what you said, articulate that, and get positive results from that from a long-term relationship.
Don't matter,
It won't.
positive or negative. If you don't need positive, it's okay to get negative results.
Why not?
See, man, we got to stop being afraid to lose a woman. If you said what I said and you get negative results, that means she ain't for you. And find the next one.
Red Pill.
Red Pill, but if you
Kasim, you just said most women are unmarriageable. You agree that women are leaving in marriages as well too, and then you're telling brothers to concede to what women are desiring and attach yourself to those things. You're still making it about what men need to do for what these women that you're saying are bad quality women should do. You're telling men how to get bad women. We're still not discussing the quality of women.
No, I'm not. No, Ali, did I not also tell you why? Some of the reasons why those women left those men.
No, you just don't bypass what I just said. That's what we keep doing.
But you're saying I said one thing, but you're not saying exactly the reason why I said that they left those women. You're just skating past that part. I get it, man. I get it.
Did you say most women are unmarriageable?
Yes.
Could you concede they're bad quality women?
Which ones are who are bad quality women? Are there bad quality women? Yes, there are. There are. Yes.
If most women are unmarriageable, does that mean they're bad quality women?
No.
Man,
it depends on the leadership that they were under, Ali. I'm cut from a different cloth, fam.
Come on,
right? Ali. I know, Ali. I remember you, Ali. I remember you testifying. I remember you testifying, Ali. I remember you testifying on another pod stream that you were just for men, right? That you were just behind men no matter what. And I believe that's where the premise that you're coming from. I'm coming from a different premise in my personal life that knowing that not all men There's a lot of
One at a
shit men
time.
out there.
Listen. Let's make sure we have the convo one at a time. All right. Go ahead, Ali.
Hey, Hemp. No, I'm going
Yes, sir.
quick. He's going long-winded, right? I'm trying to go quick so we can have a serious and good faith conversation. Am I that type of man just about men?
Sorry, who you talking to?
Am I just you, Hemp? Am I just about men?
From the conversations we have, no.
A red pill. Am I just about men?
Nope.
Fantastic. Am I
From
just
me,
about men?
I generally get that your sentiment is about family.
Thank you, my brother. Am I about family, red pill?
Yep.
Hey,
No.
fantastic. Am I about family? Hey, fantastic. Can you hear me? I guess he driving. EBD, have you heard me about talking about family, or I'm just about men on here? You're pandering, Kasim, and you know me. And Kasim, you know me more than a lot of people know me, and much as you spend time with me as well too.
Ali, with all due respect, I heard you say it with my own ears. I know you're all about family. I know you take care of your son. I know you pride yourself in family, but I did also hear you say that you were mostly on the men's side.
Wait.
I did hear you say that.
Here's Kasim is saying on a pod specifically, he said your messaging is what, Kasim? Because we know he's about family. But Kasim, if people were to hear Ali's message, what do you think their sentiment would be?
That men are not accountable for the things that they have contributed in the relationship. That the women are bad followers, and the women are bad.
Ali, what do you think about if people heard it? Would you agree that they would hear it you siding with men more often than not, regardless of the situations?
If they wanted to create a narrative, most of the people on here are decent people, or have a decent amount of I'll say intelligence.
Okay.
We all know who panders to women. We all know who may pander to men. We all know who about family, who not, and we see it on here. There's men and women who will cater to the narrative that the men are speaking from one side, and there's men and women who will cater to what women are pushing for, and men are pushing for from another side. We know who is who in these spaces, man. Everybody knows who's who and who. When people being disingenuous, they'll take someone else's words and make them something they're not, instead of saying exactly what that person is saying. Most people know I want men and women together. I see great power in men and women, and I hold women up to adult standards. And when I'm holding women accountable, it's about the behaviors. I don't say all women are bad, but I would say most women are unmarriageable because of the behaviors they're showcasing, which you also conceded to, Kasim, which a lot of men will concede to as well too. But I'm here to have men and women come together. And most men and women know that. The people that support my channel, platform, comment, they know that. There's a small selection of people who are typically disingenuous about that.
Adult standards. That's all I gotta say. Adults. Standards.
They're adults.
So Kasim,
very powerful.
Ali, do you think that a lot of us are actual leaders, men?
Yes. Most men can sustain a household. Most men can keep peace in the household. Most men can provide. Most men can. A lot of men can cook. Most men can bring food to the table. Most men can provide an environment for where a family could be raised. What we're doing is we're taking that word and weaponizing it and making it whatever we want it and making it extreme, as if he's supposed to sustain this luxurious lifestyle for a woman and all her demands. And if he can't do that, then he's not a leader.
Hashtag facts.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let's catch up on these supers real quick. HQ was popping with a 20 ball. Salute. I got That's the problem. Back to female accountability again. The premise is faulty. Most women are marriageable. Y'all just ain't wanted. Damn, hold on. I can't see that bitch. There you go. Most of y'all ain't wanted by the marriageable ones. Hence, most men's shitty dating pool. You are shitty. Cali Bev with the $2 says, Hamp, I am highly entertained. No doubt. Mr. McBride with the 20 ball. Salute. Let me play these dumb A good leader, quote unquote, Leader is simply someone who has the best interest of their followers / subordinates in mind at all times. Bobby Knight was a great leader, but no woman would marry a man who acts like that towards them. Damn. Lauren Mack with the $5 says, stop trying to win an argument and have the discussion. That's one reason combos hardly get anywhere. Lauren with the $10 says, the men sound like they're looking for a guarantee in relationships. You can be amazing and it still not work out. You can be a great leader and something could still interfere with relationships. Rojo with the $5 says, women commit to convenience. They'll follow the leader that's convenient. Correct me if I'm wrong with the 2000. So y'all just gonna lie on this poll, huh? So I put a poll up. I got one more from Reaper. Reaper was popping with the 2000s. Fuck DJ Hamp because he still got haircut for a fade. Hey man, it be like you gotta do your push-ups. I put a poll up. It says, do men have trouble leading? I asked the men who are in relationships, do they have trouble leading in those relationships? And right now the poll is showing hold on, I can't see that bitch. 65% said no out of 151 votes. Mr. McBride is alleging that niggas is lying. Somebody lying.
They lying.
I agree.
I don't think they're lying. Because if I have a problem leading you, there's gonna be no relationship.
But Red Pill, let's talk for a second. Salute to Nas. He is right now the stream boss. So if y'all see it, AL was the sponsor of the stream last time I used this app. Salute to him. So Nas is now the stream boss. So, Red Pill, nobody's just picking up and leaving. We talking about real relationships. People fight through relationships. They go through hard times all the time. So to just say there ain't gonna be no relationship, you're not just picking up and leaving your wife if she get an attitude or stop listening for you guys have a stretch of just bad times. So what's really happening?
Well, that's the thing. That's not the same thing. Of course, no one's gonna be perfect, and y'all gonna have little disagreements. That don't mean you can't lead her. Not having a problem leading her is a whole different thing from a woman having an opposite opinion sometimes. So yes, you can have an opposite opinion. You can have a voice. I'm okay with that. Me and my wife don't agree on everything. But if it's just a clear leadership problem, we ain't gonna have that. You won't even make it to wife. You won't even make it to fiance. You won't even make it to girlfriend if it's just a pure leadership problem.
Okay, except for
Hey,
Ali, just at a go ahead.
Can you that poll did it mean like maybe he took it that way too? Could have been a misunderstanding about how we took it. The way I saw that poll is a man could possibly be leading, but he's just having problems leading in a relationship.
Yeah,
is that how you put it?
You read it.
Go ahead. That's how.
Ali,
and
that's
Red
how
Pill, did you take it? And I think Red Pill, did you take it that way? Like, do you have challenges in your relationship, but you still leading? Do you ever have challenges in your relationship?
Exactly. That's what I took. So
that's what I.
Yeah.
So why you say it would? So then you would concede to that.
Because if I had challenges, don't mean I can't lead her.
No,
if I can't lead her, I'm out of there.
No,
if
what
I have
happens
difficulty leading her,
Red Pill, slow down. What happens is the truth is when we have challenges and she ain't listening and we're misaligned, you know why? Because you having problems leading at that point. I'm not saying you're not the leader, but shit be shaky. Coaches have a problem leading. And guess what? The team say, coaches, get the fuck out the meeting. We're gonna have a players only meeting.
Right. Do you know what? Do you know what makes your good woman a good woman and Hamp woman a good woman, or any woman that's really genuinely following a guy, is that she's already imprinted by feminist traits and she's fighting those things to stay with you. If she's that type of good woman. I can't speak for your whole household, but the men that can get certain women with them, that stuff is ingrained in them as well too. But they're looking at an environment, they're looking at the household, and they're choosing to still follow you. When you have that confrontation with your woman in the household, that's that feminist imprint that's been on women their whole life when they're raised under this system. So when she's challenging you, it's typically because under that it's the program and the society that we're living under. But she decides to stay with you, she's being intentional about it. But she's imprinted with it as well too.
I understand what
right, Ali. She's also still following you because you have a pattern of successes and things that she can rely on. If you just had continuous failure after failure after failure, there's going to be less likely that she follow you. But because of the type of man that you are and what you have accomplished and what you've attributed and what you've done, she's seen a certain level of consistency within you, knowing that this is not going to last forever. I'm going to choose to stay. But if you have not developed any part of consistency or competence, she's more apt to leaving.
I can agree to that, but I'm saying if we don't know the household, I still believe for the most households, the women are leading those relationships. Most men concede and conform completely to keep the relationship. They don't want to lose their wife, and they don't want to lose their kids.
I understand what y'all saying. I just know I tell men, and I know I tell my if you don't have Debo level of third authority, I can't even be with a woman. I need Debo level authority. If I don't have Debo level authority, we ain't gonna work out. Yes, you can have an opinion. Yes, you can have a voice. Yes, you can blah 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 blah. But I am the final decision. I am the decision maker. I am Debo, and it's simple as that. If that ain't the dynamic, do not be with that woman.
Ray
Straight
Pill,
up.
I had to see it to believe it. I ain't never
Me too.
I ain't taking nothing away from
Me
you.
too.
But from what I seen from the Debos of Debos, even Hap, and no disrespect to Hap, I bet you there's some things when you see stuff like, dang man, they got all of us. Ain't say he ain't gonna be no sucker, but for the man that I see as strong men, a lot of men have conceded certain things in relationships. But I would give you the fact that you may have more leverage than other men. I give you that. But when you say
No, you
Debo,
concede the stuff you don't care about. You let them win some, brother. You let them win some on the smaller things and stuff like that.
that ain't Debo, Red Pill.
That
No,
ain't
because it
Debo.
don't.
That's
No,
not
because it don't
Debo.
matter. Because it
Nah,
don't matter.
red pill, but slow down. You
Nah,
nah,
can't do
see,
that.
Y'all won't let me get my point off. Let me.
no,
Debo
Debo,
authority don't
because
mean
red
you
pill,
have to
you
use it all
said
the time.
Debo, red pill,
You have to use it all the
remember
time.
niggas
You just
wait
gotta have
till
it.
red pill, slow down, red pill. People don't talk. They start talking again when Debo leave.
Well, that was just an example. Anybody that runs shit, I just use Debo because black people familiar with it. I understand that phrase. I've seen the movie
Yeah, but
1,000
yeah,
times.
but Debo don't
Y'all get what
negotiate.
I'm
No,
saying.
don't negotiate with his woman.
Y'all get what I'm saying. By Debo authority, I mean ultimate authority. In the end, if you ain't got ultimate authority, yes, you can have her voice. Yes, you can have your opinion, but you have to be the final decision maker. If she could strongly agree something should go one way, and you don't have authority to be like, nope, this is it. We doing it this way, and she go with it. If you don't have that kind of power in your dynamic, then get out of there. That's all I'm saying. Final decision making power. Let's take the Debo thing out and call it the final decision maker.
Okay.
Regardless of, she can have her voice and say stuff, and if her idea is right, you'll go with her idea. But in the final decision, always got to be yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, I agree with that part. That made more
Much better
sense.
language. Much better language there.
Yeah, that made more sense. Made more sense.
Our pops was Debo.
So
If you had a certain father, he was Debo.
Leave Debo out of this.
So let's get who was here? Was EBD here first or Ruthless?
Yes, EBD.
Yeah.
So EBD, I know you've been hearing what they've been talking about. So you can chime in. I don't know if you heard my initial premise where, the leadership, the men are the leaders is a weapon now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, from what I understand, like in modern day era, it has been weaponized, right? Leader is kind of like a title that's bestowed upon someone who's earned it. And we're talking about over a period of time. Usually leadership implies vision, stability, a goal, a result, somewhere where you are now, where you want to be, right? Whether it be a long or short road. And other people are going to look at you and assess that person and figure out, hey, is this someone I want to follow, or is what he's saying just completely crazy nuts? I don't want anything to do with it. So I think when it comes to a relationship, we try and use in this term or this fact of leadership within the term of a relationship for men, right? Where we're basically in charge of trying to establish a relationship and lead the relationship as far as we want to go, whether it's marriage or not, whether it's eventual business together, whether you eventually break up or not. All of these things, right, are hard decisions that that a man has to make. Whether it's short term or long term. But But yeah, leadership is not for everyone, right? Not everyone can be a leader, and not everyone possesses those qualities. Now, I will say when we have these conversations about who is or isn't a leader or what qualities people do have, we keep leaving out certain contexts. And I notice that we argue over the semantics of words, but these words have different definitions depending on who and where you are in life. If you're younger, you ain't got no business having a leadership conversation, right? You don't know really enough about anything to have a conversation about I lead a team unless you know you've had previous experience such as sports. You've been a captain of a team, things like that. Like I said, not everyone can be captain of the team, right? Only that special someone who's bestowed onto them, who's earned that, can actually talk about it. But when we're talking about relationships, it's a different context because it takes two people to agree to be in that relationship for however long that lasts. So it's a different dynamic.
So
I'll end it there.
Are men naturally innately the leaders of women?
Naturally, innately, the leaders of women. That's a tough question. I want to say in society, yes, but in on a personal one-to-one, I would say no.
We are not.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
like I would say in leadership, right? In society, government, laws, buildings,
I'm
things like
talking
that,
about
the
women.
structure. But when we're talking about
Women.
relationships,
Yeah. Women.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's why I say it's a hard question because there's two different dynamics that I see it from. As men, as a whole, yes, we lead societies, we lead governments, we lead laws, we lead this and that. When we're talking about
EBD,
relationships,
I know, but I asked you specifically: are men the leaders of women?
yeah,
Relationships,
that's what I'm
yes.
saying. It's a general question, but that's how I come at it.
Well, don't. So, in
Okay,
terms
so
of
is
women in
that's the context of
relationships,
relationships.
yes.
Gotcha. In relationships, okay. Yeah, I would say so.
Are you sure?
We take the initiative. I say we take the initiative. No relationship happens without the men going first, without the men going to the women.
You know that but you know how it actually works, right? We'll be dealing with a few different women, right? There's one that you like. She know you
Right.
like her, and you know what the first question actually comes out, or that question that comes out. What are we? And then they start to kind of push that, and then we'll start to get into a mode with like, all right, well, let's see what we can do. I haven't. A
That's
lot of the brothers I know don't be like, hey, I'm about to ask her to be my girlfriend. But if she
I
start
got you.
inquiring and you actually like that woman, we'll start to make a concession and be like, okay, let's do it.
See, so then there we go. Now we're coming back to I think what Red Pill was trying to say. Then she has an opinion or a question about what are we, and then men being the final decision maker and saying, okay, we're together or we're not.
No, 100%. I'm just telling you, they usually broach it before us.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, because if we're just getting boxed, then it doesn't matter. The status for us doesn't matter, right? It matters more to the woman. So if it matters to her, we'll take it upon ourselves to make the decision. Is this the one that I want to actually be with, or am I going to string along a little bit, or I'm fine where we're at?
Go ahead. What you think, Ruthless?
What's good? What up, Big Help?
What's poppin'? How you?
Panel. Very real. I say your leadership is good as if your soldiers are not corrupted. If your soldiers are corrupted, then your leadership is void. So it's a question of right the construct that we're in is a major problem, and we don't want to really say it that America, being a simp country, is elevating women to the stature of men in the eyes of equality. So therefore, the woman knows even if you come in and say, I got all these plans and I got all this, she knows she can get rid of you with three numbers. 911. So who is her true leader, right? Because she knows if she needs to get rid of you, she can just call him up. Hey, get him up out of here. Put him in the bathroom, right? So You're not. You're really being emasculated by this country before your very eyes, right? Even the children can come out and say, "Dad, I ain't no boy no more. I'm a girl. And if you don't respect this, I'm going to go and file something in the courts and get you out of here as my dad," right? So once again, the leadership is now just as men, we're pretty much advisors and we try to implement stability for our women that we're trying to get with and our families and try to hold face with what we have, the left we have. Because we know that women are here disrespecting men at an all-time level because the backup that she got is pretty strong. We know that women are talking shit today. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you might. Yeah, but if she says to you, "I don't want this house," and you yell at her and your voice raised a little too loud, she can eliminate you out of her life. And we are aware of this. Now, you got some women, thank God, if you're lucky, to Red Pill's point and the Hemp's point, you got some women that say, "You know what, I'm not going to take advantage of the system, the systematic, which gives me all this power. I'm going to let my man do what he do." But still yet, we still have problems every now and then, bump in the road when that feminist mindset kick in, right? We got to have the conversation, even with these women. So once again, a leader is as good as his soldiers are not corrupted. And if your soldier is corrupted, I mean, if your woman is corrupted, nigga, you ain't leading shit. Because you have somebody that will step in and take you out and uplift your woman after that and make her the leader of the family. America. They will tell that single mama, you wear the pants and the dress. And the women will believe this. This is why they're so quick to divorce. This is why they're doing it, because they know at the end of the day, they really don't need your ass. So if you do have a woman that is subjective to you and giving you this leeway to have fortitude in your life, that is a blessing, brother, these days. And appreciate it. But for the majority out here, this shit is a battle. And this is why we're having this conversation. I digress.
So Ruthless. So in a civilized society, you're saying that we've been castrated?
Yes, for the most part.
Would we rather live in an uncivilized society though?
In some regard, it has its advantages.
What would be the advantages?
Because then you're able to really be a leader, right? Because now it's all about survival, right? Now you got to listen to me. You got to do these things, and you got to be on my program for us to navigate back in the days before all this came about, right? Because you still have families, you still have, right? But when women took that secular liberation away, when you didn't have all that, they had to fall up under the man's leadership because this is what made her valuable. Because she had him to navigate through all this treachery that she wasn't capable of doing. But now, because we're under this construct and women have been afforded protection by the government, afforded protection by her other men that don't even know her, right? Nation.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing: the men benefit from the same protections.
But it's not really.
Guess what? I don't want to do. I don't want to bathe in cold water. So the civilized society, aren't there more? Don't the benefits outweigh the cost?
Well, when you're talking about standard of living versus the mental capacity to run your household, those are two different things.
But I'm saying you can't eliminate civilized society and pick out the fact that you want to eliminate like those laws, but then we want to benefit from everything else, right? Or are you saying like we would limit the law when it comes to people's households and what people could and could not do?
Yes, because less government in my house means I actually get to be the man. And I'm paying taxes for them to keep the infrastructure in place so that we can have hot water. That's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying for you to run my house.
Okay.
Right? But because of a lot of white men being simps, right? They have conceded to the woman's demands, saying, "Well, hey, she needs to be heard." See, it is not that men around here are ever so forth was just putting women and beating them up and just no. So where they need to implement laws for protection. No, these laws were coming just because the women were just expression in the pillow talk. Baby, I need to have more say. Why you got to be the always one in the boss? Why can I be the boss with you? We could be boss together. And after time, the white man in America broke down and said, "Okay, you know what? You're right." And so then now us black men, this is a total degradation of our instinct of nature because we are more aggressive than a natural man, right? We're the most out of probably of all the races of men, we're the most aesthetically progressive, aggressive with our leadership. So this country contradicts the way us particularly black men are built when it comes to leadership. This is why we're having a problem. We're the only men. We're the last one. We're the last one. The women. This is why the women are so hard on us because they know we are the last ones that are showing resistance.
Black men.
Yes, as far as on a verbal, on a large verbally scale, we're the ones coming saying, and I'm not saying all because there are groups that are bowing down to women as we speak, and we're slowly losing our footing because some black men are even breaking down now. But there are a few of us in this space, is still like a good 50% of us, like Fantastic, Red Pill, Ali, et cetera, that are still saying, hey, we want to be leaders on our terms.
But I would argue that we are the ones that are under the matriarchy.
But that's not by choice. It's because we're brought up here by, our slave masters. So we basically have to get in where we fit. And then civil rights movement, which was a very bad mistake. And I still to this day disagree with what Martin Luther King did for them to come and be a part of this. But that's another conversation. But we are paying for the sins of our fathers, for the bad decision for them to come and fall under a construct that is anti-black. And now we're reaping the benefits, right, of the American way that's now destroying our families because our women have bitten the apple, right? Saying, "Oh, well, you know what? Look at the white women. Why can't we be like them?" Right? And now it's a big problem.
Well, Ruthless, you've heard of people because you named like the brothers up here, but you've heard of like Tom Likas before, right?
No.
Like Rollo Tomasi. White men, I would
Yeah,
argue, started the red pill manosphere thing. I mean, you got Patrice O'Neal, who was already saying this stuff, but
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that, but we took it to the next level, right? We take it to the next level.
You think
right?
so?
We are, because even though the white men are expressing themselves, you don't really see them going back and forth with their women like that, right? They just, Ronald Trump don't even have nobody on his page. He's just talking to the chat, right? But our women's on panels and we're being direct with our complaints and about the things we want. So the Asian men are just straight quiet, right? They ain't saying the Hispanic dudes are already bowing out, right? And the white men, even the white men are going less and less. There's still some dudes like you, just the people you name, but they're not as much as they used to be. We are the ones leading the forefront in this movement, trying to get our women to at least come to an agreement that we need to be the leaders at all times. And that means if we need to leaders at all times, we need you to dress the way we want you to dress. Once I marry you, once I put that $30,000 ring on your finger or whatever, I need you to dress representatively, constructively. You need to not overtalk me. You need to be a team player, just as it works better for us that way. Because I'm the one fucking all the bills.
Truth, I'm gonna let you get away with that first one. You said we had a conversation about that, but I love that you there now, so I'm gonna let you get away with that. You know what I'm talking about too. But now that you there, I love that. That's good. I respect that.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, black men, we are, in my opinion, we are the best for leaderships on a more majority scale than other men, right? I'm not saying there's not some alpha white boys. I'm not saying that, but for the majority, us black men we the alphas. This is kind of works against us because we are a little too aggressive. And then the white man comes down on us for all these laws, whatever. But that's another conversation. But when it comes to our women, especially black women, they have unceremoniously right, stepped into a position to go against us when they didn't really have to. And this is problematic. And a lot of us, and some of us black men are with the SPG gang, all these guys are now trying to come to their rescue. And we are now divided than ever. So women, a lot of women are being corrupted by a construct that we're, and they're using it to their advantage. And this is what hurts our leadership, because now we can be moved out the way even beyond our ability to lead.
Okay.
If you put us back in the wild, this is done. If you take your girl out in the wild, she gonna grab on his sleeve and say, "Hey man, please protect me, take care of me," right? And what happened is when mankind got corrupted and became more so-called civilized, men took up jobs to ensure that a woman didn't have to work, or they wouldn't have to do those things, or have to compete with other men. And the woman, and at those times, even when feminism was pushed, women were against feminism. But soon as women went to the labor force and wanted to be equal to men and want 50-50, they're competing with men instead of collaborating with men. So if you make more than men, you should be investing in that man that you have and building a great family. And what's happened is that men can't ask for housewives still, or for women that work and put the money back into his pocket to lead his family. They're advocating for providers and protectors and for men to do what they want to do. So they're leading essentially. If they're refusing to do what the men are asking, if the man can't ask for a housewife, if a man can't even ask for a woman to invest in his household as well too, then they're leading the households. And you can't tell men that they're complacent. And what Ruthless is saying, in fact, black men, all black women say is black men are most black women that have this narrative, not the good, but you got to keep saying it's goofy, and they should know it. But they're pushing I want the provider, I want the protector, I want the 100K, 200K, 250K. It just keep getting higher and higher, man. And we're looked at as crier. We crying and complaining every single day.
Fantastic.
Yo, what up? Am I coming in clear?
Yes, sir. What's good?
Yeah. Shout out to everybody, man. Yeah. Hey, can you share my screen, Hamp?
Yeah, let me see. Can I do it? Let me see.
There we go. So now the world is seeing what we've been talking about for however long, for going on 4 or 5 years now, right? Black people have the highest divorce rates at 30%. And the most important part of it is look at white people. So even though there are 5 times more white people than us, we're doubling the divorce rate of white people and almost doubling that of Latinos, right? And Latinos are the fastest growing thing. Now, again, on here on the side, the most important part of what we say again, we say these things, everybody act like, I'm gonna highlight it so you can see. Black women are the only group among other races that have a higher divorces than marriage rate. Now, how you got to put on everybody? Hemp, this thing weird. The thing is just on me.
I got you.
All right, cool. So now, how can we keep saying black man is the problem when we have the only group of women that have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate? We know that women lead in divorce by 70-some%. Okay. And now you have double the divorce rate than white people have, who's the largest contingent in the country. Like you said, and my understanding is you're saying, right? Leadership, be a leader is a weaponized term now, only for black men. Just be better, just lead better, just make more money. Just you can't that everything. This is why we talk about the stats, and it's never good enough. And now you have this whole thing of where solo mom is out here, and you have even a wealthy black woman accomplished all these things that's suggesting that black women leave black men altogether and just go have a test tube baby. So what we keep telling you, we have like just resounding fucking evidence, be it stats, be it social media, be it real life, be it individual anecdotal experiences. Black men are not the problem. Black men have higher success rates in other marriages and stay married longer to those other people than black women do. Black men don't have the highest the divorce rate that black women do, and black men get married more than black women, even though there's at least 1 million more black women than black men. Then we get told, oh well, all these different things, and if you start talking about it, look, black women are the ones out here promoting interracial marriages way more than the men are. They've been doing it for over 10 years at this point, and throwing it in the face of black men that they're also wanted by these other groups of men, but they don't have any of the marriages to show it. They might have some mixed kids here and there, but the thing is, when it comes to leadership, man, and shout out to Ali, and I wish Kasim was still up here. Kasim immediately went to, well, the man, he didn't have the leadership quality. Why does the man automatically get the blame when the relationship don't work out? Why is it couldn't it be that this woman was a bad woman? She, you know what I'm saying? She didn't have the feminine qualities. She didn't listen. She didn't want to clean up the house. I saw you using the example, Hamp, about hey, if I come to somebody that's got a dirty ass house and there's a man and a woman there, who am I gonna look at funny? Right? Traditionally, it will be the woman because that's the woman's job to keep the home up, right? But now you're basically, in using your scenario, it's the man's fault. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Now he not. I'm not saying if he walked in there with his muddy boots and all these everything, but I'm saying he doesn't do that. He doesn't walk in with muddy boots and so on and so forth. But he does work those 12 to 16-hour days to keep the the lights on and a roof over everybody's head and food everybody fed. And why is the house not kept? We go blame the man for that too. We go say, well, if you were a good leader, she'd be cleaning. No, what the fuck I got to do with her understanding her responsibility, understanding her contribution, understanding her job for the family unit? And that's what we keep talking about, as where no one is saying, okay, well, why aren't these women doing this? And how are the majority of men having the same problem? You can't say that and then they get better results when they go outside of the women that are attached to them. That's what I'm saying, man. So we got to stop this thing as to where always, it's the black man's fault, the black man's fault, the black man's fault. Again, black women are the only demographic that have a higher divorce marriage rate across the board. That tells you everything you need to know. It's not just with us, it's everybody else too. So that's the whole thing, man.
And one more thing, when we talking about physical attractiveness as well too. Black men are the most in shape outside the Asian. You know why the Asian are more in shape than us, in regardless to weight, the way they eat. But we have the most highest muscles. We the most in shape. Black women, 4 out of 5 black women are obese and overweight. So even take care of ourselves. Even when you talking about just physicality, we go to the gym, we take care of ourselves. They're not taking care of themselves. So even just to add to what Fantastic was saying, 500,000 more married black men, even though there's less black men. All the other races of women are more married because there's more women, but we have more our women are less married than us, with there being more women. So that's the part that he's saying, is that in the highest, and I said in the very beginning, they have the highest divorce rate than any other group. They're marrying us and then they're leaving.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. HQ with the $5 says, I listen to Trill. He said most people are good. Y'all would makes fuck up decisions and lean towards shitty women. Nas with the $10 says, you can ascribe trade roles to men/women in today's non-traditional society simply because of their birth sex, particularly if you've been groomed in a non-traditional society. This isn't a gregarian society anymore. Mr. McBride with the $5 says, nah, play my theme song. That sound weak as fuck. Them Leos was popping with the $5 says, Hamp, we seem to know the good attributes of leaders, but can the panel break down attributes on what makes a good follower? That'd be interesting. HQ with the $5 says, what does each of the men on the panel mean when they say lead in a relationship, and why do the men think women have issue with it? Okay, let's log those 2 questions. HQ with the $5 says, some men say wild stuff online. Red Pill is a classic example of the simp husband talking shit in a locked soundproof room and wife can't get in. God damn. HQ with the $5 says, want to know why leader is the worst that happened to men? Because now y'all have to prove what you have been sticking your chest out saying. Oh, chest out and saying. Dead ass. CJ was popping with the $5 says, what's good, Hamp? Ali, Red Pill, Fantastic, Windmill, EBD, and Kasim. Ellipsis. Kasim. Ali is right. You pander a little bit, but I don't think it's on purpose. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. What you think, Hank? What's popping? What you think, man?
Well, I mean, I know one of the questions was are men natural leaders, but listen to what Ruthless says. You can't say men are natural leaders. They sound like they kowtowing. I ain't never seen such, man. I don't believe in making excuses. And so, with that being said, some dudes fold because they not real leaders. So I don't think a man can automatically be a leader. I don't think men are automatic leaders. Just my opinion.
Well, Ruthless is also saying in a
So, Hank,
civilized
I got a
society. Go ahead, Ruthless.
Can I ask Hank a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Hank,
Now,
aren't
if
you?
you could question. No, Ruthless. Ruthless, you can ask me if you can ask me a question, Ruthless.
That's what I'm asking you. I'm gonna ask you a question. Aren't you previously divorced before this new relationship that you're starting?
Yes.
And was it because of your bad leadership?
Why I got divorced?
Yes.
Nah, she divorced me because I cheated on her.
Okay, but once again, were you still a good leader because you got some extra pussy?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can concede that you what a natural leader is and what a leader is all upon your followers and what they want to follow. Now, if she doesn't want to follow you because she doesn't fucking want you anymore, right? That doesn't make you a bad leader. Can we agree with that?
What was that last part of the question?
If she doesn't want to follow you no more because she doesn't love you or she doesn't want to have sex with you no more, that doesn't make you a bad leader, correct? So therefore, we can't sit here and say what a man can and cannot be because a woman wants to leave. Remember, woman is subject to her feelings and emotions at a high rate. And this is something we can't, or even she can't control. So therefore, if you're going to sit here and say, oh, well, men can't be leaders or leaders, once again, I broke it down to you. If a woman is corrupted in her mind, then your leadership is mute. It has no weight at all. And you experience it as a man yourself, right? Being a great leader that you thought you were, but because your woman was corrupted by her own conceits, she walked from you. So this is the point I'm making. We men get up here and we want to just always bash about us being accountable for what women do. Once again, women have to be responsible for their actions as well and their part in this destruction of the nuclear family. And I digress.
So the thing was, you said natural leaders. Men are not natural leaders. You develop your leadership. Not everybody are born leaders. They're just not. You grow into that leadership. So you're not a natural leader.
Right, well, I agree with that, but still, if we're talking, more so than less, we're comparing the one to the two, right? We're comparing the genders. We would definitely agree that, what I'm saying, at least I hope that, the majority of leaders in history, the greatest leaders have been men for a reason. You're literally from a physical. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Fantastic. You conceded way too fast. Way too fast.
Well, I didn't concede anything. I didn't concede.
You said I agree with that.
Well, no,
I'm not trying to say you did anything wrong either. What I'm saying is that when he said men are not leaders, and just bring you put a man and woman on an island together by themselves, that man's going to be in charge of that woman.
No, he added born leaders. He's had born leaders, I think. I'm pretty. Didn't you say born?
Well, if they born, okay, so I'm gonna ask you then. I'm gonna go away from him. I'll ask both of y'all. If you put a man and a woman on an island, they both born, both healthy, same age, and they end up growing up, who's going to end up being the leader?
Yeah, the man more likely than not, because he's able to endure more. That's what I'm saying.
Just physical strength, period.
That's what I said. He's able to endure. That's what I'm saying. He's going to be built to endure more.
Right.
And
the reason why we say this is because the social construct that allows him to do things.
So we say just because it's physical strength.
You can't. I'm almost finished, Hank. I know you. Okay, hold on.
God damn, I thought I had the floor though.
Hey,
At least I thought I did.
Okay, go ahead, my brother. Hank, go ahead. I know you like the panel.
I thought I had the floor, but I know Rufus just wanted to interrupt and ask me a question, and I was cool with that.
Go ahead.
But you're saying that we're the leaders. Well, dude, most men are bigger than women, and yet they still kowtow to women. Why aren't they leaders? Their mindset is not leader. They don't have the leadership mindset. That's the reason why. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. A leader could be a leader regardless. Doesn't matter his size, his stature, nothing like that. It's a mindset, and that's what's wrong with a lot of men. They don't have that leadership type mindset. They have that I'm scared to look a man in his eye type mindset. They cower down to a woman. Y'all cower down to each other, let alone a goddamn woman.
Does the data show that most men bow down, or do most men not bow down to these women? What does data show?
Data shows most men that bow down to women.
No, it does. Then why only 30% of black
Yes.
men married? So why only 30% of us married?
It has nothing to do with. Look,
how does that not
it
have
has
nothing to do with it?
marriage. Even in relationships, the ones that are not married are still kowtowing to women.
No, but
so you're saying
can I say this? Ali, can I get in here for?
Hold on, Rufus, before you go. So, hey, Hink, just give us a definition of kowtow, your personal thing. We all have a general consensus, but specifically from the man-woman dynamic, break it down.
So I think what Rufus was saying, talking about I think he was talking about the kids in the relationship and how the wife or the girlfriend, whatever the case may be, the baby mama would be okay if her son decided to wear some high heels and a dress, and the man would just concede and be okay with that. To me, that's kowtowing.
But he's
yeah,
wrong.
but that's
I think
extremely
that was one of
rare.
the examples. I think
fantastic. He's wrong.
Rufus was given.
What we concede to is most men in relationships and marriages possibly are being kowtowed. But most men that are single are not being kowtowed. That's why they're single. So I would agree with you, Hank. We say that most married.
But if you're in a relationship, you're kowtowing though.
Hank,
No, you can still kowtow and not be in a relationship, Hank. For the like you said, if you're saying your original premise was men are pretty much doing what women want them to do in order to be with the women. Because and then like you said, the single men that are out here, dealing with women, at their leisure and on their rules, defy what your point.
That's not the complaint, right? Fantastic. They say we're not good leaders. Men are not kowtowing, and that's why I say it, my brother. It looks like you pandering because you're saying most men are suckers, but they not.
Yeah, especially in a black man's thing, where again, most men, like you said, they have access to sex, right? Y'all claim niggas not getting no pussy, but then getting everybody pregnant at the same time. So again, you there's no way you can say that the majority of men are kowtowing to women, or I guess not. I want to say just I guess like simping for women when most men aren't aren't dealing with enough women like that for you to claim the majority of men are simps.
I think he's talking about the pool of men that are dealing with women.
And
the pool of men that have access to women, they're kowtowing.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if you ain't got no woman, you're not kowtowing to nobody but yourself. I'm talking about ones who are in a relationship, not just marriage, but in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah, so Hank, that's what I'm saying. So that would still, I think, would be for black people would be in official long-term relationships. I think that would still be the minority. If we only got 30% marriage rate, right? Let's double that. I don't even think you can double that. I think the most people are out here on some casual, like, hey, hey, I see you, I like you, we you know what I'm saying, we fuck and we move on. I think that's the majority of.
You got it. Fantastic. Just hold on.
How can we call ourselves leaders when men are scared to have conversation with women to the point where they're worried about everything and every move they make? How can you call yourself a leader when that's a problem for you?
That's what
a leader's for me.
Okay,
Hold on. He asked me a question. Let me answer. He asked me a question. Let me answer.
Let Fantastic go. Let Fantastic.
So Ali, you saying a leader's supposed to be scared to have a conversation with a woman? Is that what you're saying?
No, I thought you said he's supposed to look at what she's doing. My bad. I misunderstood you. No, I disagree. No, he's not supposed to be scared.
He said they're scared to have a conversation. So again, Hank, there's a point in leadership of where you have to get familiarity with the people you're leading, with your followers, right? Everybody, you can't use the same leadership style with all people unless you just, have an iron fist. Of course, if you in some shit to where, hey, get down or lay down, You know what I'm saying? Of course. But, you know, in the society we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, the way society works, it's not okay to do that. So as a leader, you actually learn the different personality types and imply different leadership styles according to the people that you have. You also are going to have exceptions. The person that's a great soldier, right? He's going to get more credence. He's going to get more leeway. He's going to get the more valuable person, be it man or woman, is going to get more than all the rest of the people that are like, you know what I'm saying, mediocre or subpar. So that's what I'm saying. The leadership shit is multifaceted, and saying that a man does not, you know, he doesn't have the skills yet to just approach any and every woman the same. You can approach every woman the same. People love saying that shit. That's another thing too. Why
They don't approach though.
This is what bothers me. Fantastic
Ham.
just came. Fantastic. You got it. Fantastic. You just put a great example of what's going on in our relationships. We have the highest divorce rate. We're divorcing, and it's the women leaving the men, which means that either the woman, she don't want to do with the man, even if she commits to a marriage, which number one reason for a divorce is lack of commitment. She leaves because he not gonna do what she said, what she wants him to do. So she leaves. So even if we get married, majority of those men still don't bow down to that women. The woman ends up leaving. He don't leave her, but she ends up leaving. All right, leave me. Go ahead. He still try to fulfill his responsibility.
So I want to get him to say this. We missed one key component, right? And that is this is why I really disagree with you. Now, us men, we understand our capabilities, right? A lot of us can read a lot of high rate of violence, right? And if you're dealing with someone who's constantly challenging and being vulgar and feel like you're disrespected, but you don't want to leave them, you want to work through it. Yes, less and less, because if this can turn away for the woman that has not been her physically. So yes, we're actually smarter and wiser, right? To hold forward. We're trying this way, and it causes us to be confrontational. And we know that anger is emotion, and when it gets us angry and gets us triggered, the best thing we have to do is walk away sometimes and, you know, restructure and try to be better in the situation. So yes, you have to give credence to that, right? Because most men understand that their propensity for violence can get them in a lot of hot water. And I'm not condoning this. What I'm saying is we just don't think just because we're in America that we can't get violent, right? And words can trigger, right? Confrontations can trigger, disagreements can trigger certain responses that could be physical. So what men are doing, and better than they did in the past, right, is we're not leaning on our propensity of violence anymore. What we're doing is we're being smarter about our approach and doing less talking and less arguing with her. And now she's getting upset because she wants the toxicity. She wants to be heard more than you. She wants to win the argument, and you're not indulging. So therefore, that would be a man being a wise leader in a situation, because she's her emotions and her feelings, and we're thinking logically, and we're looking for the bigger picture.
So what would be wise? What
Go ahead, Hank.
I'm just trying to figure out what would be wise. Okay. What would be wise to be with a woman who's doing all those things, and that's not you. It's not in your nature. That's not how you move. That's what says you a leader by dealing with a woman like that. That shows your lack of leadership.
Well,
it's the reason why you have to settle a woman like that acts that way, who's going to push you to the point where you feel like you need to lay hands on a woman. What type of leader are you if you have to go to that extreme, brother?
Well,
you're not a leader then. You have no choice but to settle for whatever it is, because the lack of leadership that you have shown and that you have displayed, that's why you had to kill that woman.
Are you asking me a question?
See, wait a second. So that's what I was saying, man. We having a bunch of conversations at one time. So here's what I want to understand. Here's what I want to understand more so. Mr. Fantastic, on the slide that you shared, I know that we're the most divorced and things of that nature. Were you able to expound on, because I was slightly distracted, What are the marriage rates and divorce rates when black women get with women of other cultures?
It's still the highest.
So even when they're with other men from other cultures, they get divorced the most also?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what was in that slide, correct?
Yeah, just say they have the highest divorce rate of all demographics, man and female, all races, period, across the board.
So no, the highest divorce rates with so okay, let me put it in layman. So
No, you said
age
so when they get with white men and Asian men and whatever else and all these other things, you saying they still have the highest divorce rate?
yeah, do they divorce more than Asian women when they're with men of other cultures?
No,
You
they
see what I'm
can't.
saying?
They can't divorce more than that because it's so rare. So that's another thing too, right? So the problem with that when and they try to use that stat like black women stay with white men, it's literally like I don't even know, less than 1%.
Yeah.
And I
But
think black women and Asian men are even smaller than that. Like
that's true.
the least likely marriage situation is like a black woman and an Asian man, right? That's the least likely.
Yeah, but
Most common, of course,
I'm not arguing that you're saying it's negligible numbers, right? But
yeah.
now what about this, right? Because I want to understand it, okay?
Mhm.
When you have when we looked at a bunch of different numbers, and I know we've progressed and improved in a lot of different categories. However, in those categories, we're still outranked by our male counterparts, right? Could the argument be made? Go ahead.
No, as far as what?
All the stats that I brought up last week: prison,
Like
money,
income and
homelessness,
all that stuff.
all of it, right?
Gotcha. Cool.
Majority
Gotcha.
of
Okay.
it, right? We
Cool.
weren't
All right.
doing
Cool.
well.
Yeah.
Um, does that speak to any of these poor rates in divorce? So, what I would hear the
No.
argument that would maybe come if women hit the panel was, well, what Asian women are tied to Asian men. Asian men outrank us in almost every category. So now black women are tied to black men, and we are the lowest in a lot of those categories. Does that
Yeah,
have
but what
anything to
kills
do
that
with that?
argument? What
Go
kills
ahead.
the argument is Hispanics. So the Hispanics kills that argument. Black men make more money than Hispanic men,
Mm-hmm.
clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So and like you said, so that's what kills the argument. There are men that do lesser than what black men do that still have a higher success rate at marriage, relationships, families, all these different things. So that's the problem that of course they always want to focus on the white man, the white man, the white man, and so on and so forth, right? And juxtapose the black man directly to him. And all these things or whatever that happens to him or that he does. But then too, like you said, the white man in this country is the largest number of men, right? And then they of course they're going to take up and absorb up more women from other races or what's the name, because just simply because they outnumber everybody else. But it's five times more white men than black men, and then Hispanic men is something like less than five now, 4 point something, because they I think they're like what 18%, and then Asian man, hell, it's probably like 10. It's like 10 times more white men than Asian men. See what I'm saying? So when we start doing the stats, we start getting into the numbers. Black women are directly juxtaposing us to white men and their success and all these different things, but they purposely don't match us up to Hispanics, which we're closer in population. We're like 14%. They're like I said, 16, 18%, I forget, right? But they make less money than us. And then that's only the ones that get counted are the documented ones. We're not even talking about the undocumented. So if we talk about the undocumented, Pedro, Julio, all the motherfuckers that be at Home Depot, you know what I'm saying, and out here cutting your grass, you know what I'm saying, on the weekend, you know, that will actually drop the numbers that are actually accounted for because they only count citizens. You see what I'm saying? And then yet and still, like I said, Hamp, I made the video, I showed it. Hamp, they had these Mexicans come out here, bro. It was 5 of them. They put a roof on my house in 2 days. Out of the 5, it was 4 people working. It was 3 dudes, 1 woman, and then they had 1 just for support. She didn't hit no hammer. She didn't pick up no hammer. She didn't put in no nails. She didn't put 1 shingle on. But she was whatever they needed back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Stuff to send up the ladder. She was doing it. All Hispanic people. I highly, highly doubt they was. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look documented. I would say that him. So that's what we talk about when we're saying this. You always, of course, and again, this is why I say it's unfair, right? So white women don't say this to white men about Asian men. Asian men have come here, and like I said, you brought this up, Ham. You even showed it. White men are like 7th on the list now, right? Is it 7th or 8th? right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But are white women telling white, well, why aren't you doing what the Asian men are doing? No, of course not. Because they respect the men that they're attached to. They appreciate the man for what he is doing, not always criticizing what he's not. Not
So
always trying to juxtapose him to another group of men and say you're insufficient. When clearly, again, if that was the case, you wouldn't have lesser men than us having more success family wise. And that's the reason why we're bottom, because black women again refuse to work with black men and be in healthy relationships.
Whew. Damn, man. Mm. It's really that bad out here. EBD, is that why you divested? The hell with you.
I mean, pretty much. If what he was saying, if what he was saying was anything, if anything, what he was saying was untrue, right? If we had it, if I grew up in a society or a world where black women respected black men, black boys, uncles, nephews as much as any other culture did, then yeah, I'd have much more experience. Why would I have a reason to divest from someone who loves and respects me, who looks like me as well? I mean, that doesn't really make sense unless you're talking about a different culture that says, I don't need you, you're never good enough, and what you will grow up to eventually be still will be insufficient. Like if you think about what women tell us, or what our women specifically tell us, from the time you were born or a 5-year-old boy until you're a grown ass man, is that no matter how much money you make or success you have, they still have free license to disrespect you. At any time, day, noon, or night, they can just tear you down to pieces verbally. They can abuse you emotionally. They can tell you that all of your accomplishments don't mean anything because that you're replaceable, that you're not. They'll tell you all the problems that you are and that you're not. Right. In any given argument, which is different from any other culture that I've dated. Hispanic or white. Which when we have an argument, we have a disagreement about something, and it never gets to a personal attack where I'm unsatisfied with you, you're unsatisfied with me, you're this, you're that. It never gets up to a personal level of vitriol and disrespect, right? Which is why my relationships in these situations have turned into a marriage and kids and things like that. So yeah, it's that serious.
So you see it as a weapon, EBD, the leadership mantra.
I do. Only because whenever I hear black women say it, it's in the context of an insult. Y'all supposed to be the leaders. Y'all supposed to be the leaders. Well, y'all supposed to be. What do you mean y'all supposed to be the leaders? How about you're just a shitty follower? I mean, how about you listen to what I say? If I can't lead you in a conversation to get you into and take you from a logical place of A and B, and here's where you're fucking up, but you want to interrupt me every two or three verbs that I get out, and you want to say, well, that doesn't matter, and this and that and the other. No, you're not a good follower. You can't follow what I'm saying in order for you to take that introspection and become a better person.
What makes a good follower?
Someone who listens, pays attention, and can understand good criticism and can see outside their worldview by listening to the opinions of others. Even if I disagree, you still deserve to be heard and listened to. Whether or not I follow direction or take something from it's up to me as an individual. But at least for everyone who comes up on this panel or anyone who's in this space, I don't want to interrupt and I don't want to disrespect, because what you may say may be valuable enough for me to apply in my everyday life and become a better person.
What do you think, Ali? What makes a good follower?
Um, Even if we have to get context, I mean, a good follower is just someone who just cooperates, man. Someone who cooperates and tries to make your life easier, but mainly the person who just cooperates. I don't want to give too much context to it if you just ask just the definition of what a good follower is, but it's just someone who cooperates. If you're asking us to do something for your show or panel and you say, "Man, can you do this for me?" and I demonstrate that I'm a good follower, I just cooperate with you. I'm not giving you no pushback. If we want to give context, that's a whole nother story. But it's just someone who cooperates, willing to
Well, what makes
cooperate.
a woman a good follower in a relationship?
If the quality of the person or the women, like women can cooperate in a bad relationship or a good relationship. That's why I'm saying, like, people that say there's men that say women who are followers are good women that actually demonstrate that she could follow experiences show that women are following the quality of the woman. That's a whole different thing.
Hold on,
Was
could
he
y'all hear
barking at
Ali
y'all or
well?
just me? No, he was
My bad.
barking. That's what I'm saying. This is
Oh,
Ecam
can you
shit.
hear me? Why? Yeah, the Ecam stuff. I look crazy over here, Hemp.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
This
I've
Ecam
been
thing is messing everybody up. Ruthless keep going in and out.
no,
Hink got dark
that's ruthless.
skin.
That's ruthless
Oh,
technology.
oh, okay, that's Ruthless technology. I thought that was
Hang
Loon at
on, how
first.
am I looking? How am I
I
looking?
thought
Am I bright or dark or
Ruthless.
what?
I heard Luke. I didn't see Ruthless, but I heard his voice, and oh dang, I thought that was Loon. For real, man. But again, that's why I'm saying how these words are weaponized. Because if you talk about a follower, it's in a good light. When we talk about leaders, it's weaponized. It's a good when we start talking about leaders, it's just to weaponize it against men. Nobody, none of y'all in your house. Oh man, hey, who's that lady? I mean, who's that? Is that your man? Nah, that's my good leader. Nobody calls that man a leader in their household anywhere except for on YouTube or when we had these conversations. But when the word leader comes into play, it's for women and men to make men look bad talking about that word leader because it can apply to so many different things. And we don't even give context to it. We just go, men are not good leaders, but leaders of what?
Mm. And so specifically, I think you heard it before. I just want to clarify the point. You were saying that a man is often called a good leader by women when he's acquiescing.
Oh, definitely. Until she don't get what she want, and then he's a bad guy. You'll never hear most of the women never talk good about men that they broke up with. The man's always the problem. He was a good leader till he wasn't. And he was a bad man to you know how many dudes you hear that you can go, dang man, that dude look like he not a good dude. Like the stuff you saw them doing, the things they talked about, and the women will brag about she got this guy to change, she made him a better man. That's a good man once she got him to change. But the man that she didn't change for, he's a bad man. But she saw the value with him and she'd sleep with him and have sex with him. She saw him as valuable. She just couldn't get him to do what she wanted him to do.
Yeah, I remember. One of my players. I put up a clip. You know, he said Coach Hamp was like that uncle that nobody liked, but he tell you what you need to hear, right? And the kids, we was tight, fully bought in. You know what I'm saying? But does that work the same way in relationships? Or what?
It's the opposite. So that's why when people say women are kids, they worse than kids will listen. Kids will cooperate. Kids will demonstrate how much they value you. Today's women don't do any of that. So kids in my classroom, the teachers when I used to work in mental health will go, "Why y'all listen to Mr. Ali? Because he love us, but he don't play." So they knew like I didn't let things go down in the classrooms because I valued them and I hold them to a high standard. Women don't want men that hold them to a high standard. Women want men that they can control and do what they want them to do in the modern time. They want a sponsor. They don't want a man.
You guys agree?
I think yeah, but I think the truth is often hard to hear, especially from someone you're in a relationship with. I mean, we always have to sugarcoat it. I mean, there's emotions that we want to protect, but yeah, just I mean, versus your best friend's girlfriend or whatever it is, you're more likely going to be maybe more direct with someone you're not emotionally kind of tied to or bonded to that way. You can at least talk about a relationship in that context a little bit more open and honestly, especially if it isn't about your own significant other. At least that's kind of how I experienced it.
Hmm.
Ham, let me ask you a question. All the
Yes, sir.
brothers. If
Yeah.
men are calling women unmarriageable and hoes, and women are calling men bad leaders, but we having babies out of wedlock and we having sex out of wedlock and no marriages, who's right?
Um, I'm not sure because Ali, I think remember we had that talk about sex can't be the way you show a man you love him because sex is not highly valuable. So I'm not so sure if I have a great answer. Remember we were talking about submission is how you show a man ultimate love because sex can't be it no more because sex has been devalued. Remember?
It still demonstrates the value of a man because most men can't get sex. But what I'm asking is, if I
Okay.
call this woman a hoe and she still has sex with me and she tells me I'm a bad leader, but I told her I'm not you unmarriageable and you a hoe. who's right if we're having all these babies out of wedlock and sex and not marriages? The woman would be right if we got married with them and say, man, these men are bad leaders.
Yeah, I
You get what I'm saying?
I think the
They let
question.
this man led me into a hole. That's what I'm trying to say. If we form it and stay a certain point, we go, okay, women go, these men ain't no good. Hey, what kind of guy were you dealing with? A no good guy? Well, why you ain't dealing with a good guy? And if a man go, hey man, why you ain't getting married? Because most of these women are not marriageable. They tell the man to practice dick discipline, but they're not practicing pussy discipline until they married.
I see what you're saying. Go ahead, Fantastic.
And then that sounds more
And
like a both man rather
they
than
ain't
a even
practicing.
more.
Hold on, and they ain't practicing pussy discipline when they married either, Ali.
Boy, that's cold.
Yeah,
Hey, it's true.
You know what I'm having a thing is though, man. We understand that women are children, and women just not they bad decision makers. But why do we allow them to have so much control?
It's
Why
not a
why don't
allowance.
more men? Well, dog, what would you call it?
Hink, so this what I'm saying, man. Hink. There's such thing as just a bad lot, right? Or a bad group of people that you have that happens. You can't hold the leader, especially if you can't let the leader just get rid of those bad people. You can't tell the leader he's a bad people when he's been given bad people to lead. So, and what we're saying is you can literally look at all of the stuff, man, that has been going on over the last 30, 40 years. And regardless of the fact, okay, the outcome is the outcome. So now you have these women that are adults that have no respect for men. They don't have any value for men. But they demand everything from men. They hold men responsible and accountable for everything, even their own bad decisions and actions. So how the fuck am I supposed to win with that, Hank? Now, of course, that's not all. But y'all said, multiple people have said, most of them are not marriageable. So if a woman is not marriageable, that means she's going to be not impossible, but more difficult to lead. Okay. That's a woman you're going to have to break down and get her to understand, I'm the man. I say this, do this, and I protect and provide. Now, of course, that's of you know what I'm saying, nothing outrageous, nothing, crazy, like bitch get in, stay pregnant and stay in the kitchen. No, I'm not talking about that. But just a simple thing. What and this is why I say this so that y'all miss. I'm all for the man being accountable, but you can't hold a man fucking accountable when the people that are attached to him are literally just fighting against him. Y'all don't seem to understand, bro, that we are want to take over the reins for fucking black men being seen as and respected as the leaders of black people. The world sees the black woman as that. That's the country. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, you have. Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say was, if that's the case, because me and you had a conversation before, and you said you wouldn't try to help a kid out who's not looking to be open to learn or to listen, right? That's what you shared with me, right? You remember having that conversation?
If he comes to me and he's touchable,
if he's not willing to do those things, why wouldn't that apply to a woman too? That should have to apply to a woman. If I acknowledge and recognize and see that this woman is, like Ali always says, not agreeable, not very disrespectful, very inconsiderate, doing all of these things. Why would most men want to waste their time to try to train somebody who should automatically know how to act and carry on and move and operate as such? Now, if that's the case, maybe that's what you into. That shit turns you on if you like those type of women that got a little bite to you, that fight you back. Some men are into that shit, and I understand that. But why?
My bad. Let me answer the question because you asked. I know what you're saying. So, Hink, it's it's because you don't have a choice. Listen, anthropology and sociology proves this shit, Hink. Black men are going to deal with black women the most. Like we're talking 80% or more. So if those are the women you have, how are you going to throw away, let's say 60% of them or 40% of them or whatever? And now what's left for the men that's wasn't it? Hey, this is where where black people fuck up.
Why don't you have a choice? I mean, as a leader, as if you take on that mindset, we said, if you're a leader, how do you not have a choice? You always have a choice. Now, you can either go to the EBD route and go get you a snow bunny, or you
Okay.
could figure out and go ahead.
Okay, Hank, but that's the problem. And please, Ham, take down that fucking lie. No, the hell you don't. Is less than 30, less than 40% of y'all have don't have kids. But anyway, so Hank, you missing me, bro. So let's say we do this right. If black men just completely, totally leave black women alone, you have to have now you're trying to defy history. Now you're telling pretty much black men to date out in mass or at such a large number as to where you gravitate to other women, as to where those women are going to still hold to the anthropological principle. Most people are going to deal with their own race, their own group the most. So even if you just leave, if you want to leave, there's not enough women out there for a mass amount of black men and just leave black women alone and go get other women. I'm glad you bringing this quick. A lot of people think it's not that easy. I'm telling you because again, you just like you have to have a desirability, right, on both sides. Are there some white women, some Asian women, Hispanic women that like black men? Yes, but is it enough for them to be able to stoke up? Let's say 40% of black men say, "Fuck it, I'm done with black women." No, it's not enough for them out there for that, Hank. So now you're leaving a lot of men in the cold. You know what I'm
Y'all got to
saying?
get
You
more.
telling them,
You got to get more context though, Hink. It ain't so. Hink, all the men on here, right? As you got mature, let's say some of us wanted relationships, some of us wanted sex. But if we wanted relationships, if we find out that most women weren't unmarriageable, most men matured on how to get sex without getting relationships because of that, because of what was going on with our women. But you have to put women in the same equation. Majority of women that come on these spaces with us or we have experiences with, they're learning men to get men to be on their page. And then men think that they're doing what the men think they want them to do. And when you get in relationships, she showed she was finessing. She learned how to get you better too. Women know how to get certain men now. They know the talking points, they know how we talk, they know what we like. And then when you commit to that woman, whether it's a relationship or a marriage, a lot of those women still finesse those men and they switch. They still baiting. So just as much as we intelligent and we learn how to get women more without having to completely commit either, they learn how to get commitment and learn how to get even relationships or marriages without conforming to the guy. They make the guy think they were conforming, and that's why we have the high divorce rates. Women are baiting and switching.
So this is my last ready to go. WWE's tonight at the Yum Center, man. Y'all may go check it out if y'all in the city of Louisville. But my last statement is it's an extreme situation, right? Fantastic and Ali. It's an extreme situation we're in as far as dealing with our women. If that's the case, don't we need to take extreme measures? And so if that extreme measure means to straight just date out, then why not do it? If it's to the extreme as we say it is.
Hank,
Because
I
we're
agree
not.
with you, but Hank, you're not gonna have now you're demanding. So now you're demanding black men stop being attracted to black women. You see what I'm saying? Again, that is
I'm not
well,
okay. Well, let me clean it up. I'm not saying not to be attracted to black women. Take advantage of your surrounding areas. Doesn't all necessarily have to be white, like my man EBD is into. Asian. I mean, continue to go get your passports, like the passport bro said. Whatever it takes, man. Do what you need to do if that's what it's gonna take. And if the sisters get mad and get jealous, maybe they'll self-correct. Maybe not.
no, they're not.
And if they don't, they'll just be acting out.
Yeah, but they not though. We seen that the black women are hounding and stalking and everything to do with passport bros, and all they doing is talking shit. Nothing's changing. The problem is again, man, you're never gonna have enough people that does it out and enough to where it makes a mark, man. For individual things, shout out to EBD, shout out to brothers SYSBM, shout out to the brothers, that what I'm saying, deal with other groups of women. You find what works for you, yeah. But again, that's always gonna be the minority, and that's science, Hank. You know what I'm saying? That's science and history. You're never going to defy that.
And can we make sure this is what happens with these conversations as well too when we talk about we give context. We're talking about men who can get those women. We're talking about men who can date outside their race. Most white women don't want to date no average black guy. Most Asian women don't want to date the average black guy. People still want to date amongst their race. Women want a white woman, want a white man. Arab woman want an Arab man. Most people still want to date within their races. So when we talk about people dating outside their race, we talking about certain men who can have that effect on women. Where a white woman to go, I date that black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to be real about that. Most races don't want to be with us either. Even when we talk about we're desired by other races of women, but for the most part, they don't want to be with us either. Most people still want to be with each other.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be hard to do it in mass, but let me read these super chats. Diesel was popping, and I wanna really get into. I wanna understand. Are we good leaders? I understand that the title is being used, right? You the leaders, right? It's used as a jab a lot, But are we good leaders as black men as a whole? Or where does when they jab us with it, is it an effective jab because it has some truth to it?
No,
I wonder.
There's no, but you gonna read
No,
the
no.
super chat.
What they're saying when they say y'all supposed to be the
I'm gonna read
leaders
these.
is that you are to have all
EBD.
the
What I
blame
was
and none of
doing
the credit.
was laying it out, and then I said I'm gonna read the super chats, but I just wanted to lay it out so y'all could think about it while I'm reading the super chats.
I got you.
Hamp, I gotta go, man. Thanks for having me, big
That
brother.
was a
Y'all
bait.
be safe.
Have you
Oh,
baited
it
him,
was
Hamp?
something.
You
All
baited
right,
him.
be real.
Ain't be safe.
All right. Hey, Hamp, I'm gonna give you a shout too.
All right, no doubt.
All right.
All right.
Stop simping, Hank. Man, make good. Hey.
Ah,
I got a beautiful black woman. I'm good.
I do too.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me see. Lauren Mack with the $5 says, let me translate for Brother Hank. He said, quit whining and grab them nuts. Oh, man. HQ with the $5 says, the dating pool. Oh, shit, my bad. We don't care about passport bros. They only taking the dustiness overseas. LOL, pathetic. HQ with the $5 says, Destiny school y'all once, and he said the world knows black men have no intention of taking accountability for your part in the community. Red Pill with the $2 says, Hamp, are women children? Can we get a poll? Okay, I can put up a poll. Chocolate Bunny with the $7.77. Salute. She said, it's Jermaine's fault no matter what. Quentin with the $2 says, Hamp, are you considered red pill? Nah, I don't think so. Right, Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. No.
Okay. Let me see. HQ with the $2 says, young women today have been dealing with a bad lot. Hey, Mr. Fantastic, when you said that, they like that in the chat.
But they got hot. I ain't keep up with the chat.
Diesel found a link. Cali Bev with the $2 says, Hamp, we missed Ali's answer about good follower. Did? Where Ali go? He'll be back. Be nice with the $5 says, what's he saying? Appointment, right?
Yeah, that's what like it means. Appointment of our women.
Apart.
A part. I think he's saying a part, and it just ran together.
Okay. A part of our women would rather sit passenger for a drive. Damn. A part of our women would rather sit passenger for a drive-by than passenger on a work truck. Jesus.
Or a portion. Maybe he meant a portion. One or two. Either a portion or a part. One or two.
That $10 would have been too much. HQ with the $2 says, black women don't respect black men. Windmill all you want about it. OMAC with the $10 said, what's poppin'? OMAC said, it doesn't matter what race the black woman is, the least likely to have a man from another race want to marry the black woman. There will not be a line of men from other races wanting to deal with black women's attitude. HQ with the $5 says, white men and black women have the best marriage rate together. Red Pill Ranger with the $5 says, single mother rates prove men not kowtowing to women. They dipped, which is the ultimate bitch. Fuck you. Fuck what you going through. Damn. HQ with the $5 says, black men, the only men who want to come to a regular job and want to be the boss day one and have no training for it whatsoever. OMAC with the $5 says, black women are the last to get married and the first to get divorced. Black women are quick to make demands that even Superman would struggle to fulfill. Mr. CYP with the $5 says, women today do not need us as in the past, and with less need came less respect and submission. One day we will adjust, and they will see their mistakes. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Diesel, what's popping?
What's good, Hamp? What's good? What's good, panel? Fantastic, Ruthless.
Yeah,
EBD,
man, we trying.
y'all good?
What's going on? Yes, sir.
Good, man, good. I just want to say this before I start, man. Do I have to become an elite status group member or something to get a link? Just
What
saying,
you mean?
I feel like I'm left out every time. I'm asking for the link, I never get it. I don't know what's going on.
How you get up here?
Because I had somebody send me the link, but it wasn't you.
My bad, man. You know I love you. There's a thousand goddamn moderators, man. Look,
Nobody.
you know
somebody
what?
sent me the link, but it wasn't you. I'm just trying to say, if I need to become elite status, how much you gotta pay?
Man,
I want to go.
I gotta be accountable. I apologize. I ain't see. I was too busy eating. My bad.
What's good? So
What's good?
So I heard something earlier that made me want to come up here, and the question was, are men born leaders, right? And I think we were conflating leader with just being a leader. Like, you got good leaders and you got bad leaders, but men are inherently leaders, period, point blank. If they're good or bad, that's another conversation. But I think when it comes down to it, we are born to be leaders, right? In any situation, shit hits the fan situation, any extreme situation, majority of women are going to go to men to fix something, right? Regardless if they know they're a leader or not. If they're on the middle of the street and somebody starts doing something crazy, they're going to look for a man for protection and leadership. So at the end of the day, for us to say men aren't born leaders, I think we're not correct in that. I think we need to look at the fact of that we are born leaders, but are we good leaders when it comes down to it?
Okay. And what's your synopsis? What do you think? Are we?
I think majority of men have not had the experience to be good leaders, right? They haven't had a good leader to teach them how to be a good leader, right? To become a good leader, you have to have something to go off of, and a lot of people, we don't have that. Like, the reason why I'm a good leader with my department is because I take a lot of things that I learned from other chiefs that did good work, and I'm implementing it into and how I work. You know what I'm saying? So I think when it comes down to it, if you don't have that, then yeah, you can't be a good leader.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
So can we agree that the leadership that you're talking about is being maintained by the current social construct that we're in, correct?
Yes.
I mean, so that means I have to lead according to the structure which the contract is giving me, correct?
But hold on. But just because somebody doesn't want to follow my leadership does not make me a good leader.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But just follow me. So, but I have to lead according to the social construct around the parameters of which is allowed for me to lead. Am I correct?
No.
Okay, then good. So if I want my woman yelling, I'll slap the shit out of her, and she call you over there, are you going to say, well, you deserve that, or are you going to take me in?
Some people lead that way. That doesn't make them a good leader.
No. That's not the question I asked you. If my woman's allowing me, and I slapped the shit out of her, and she called you, you're a cop, right? Mm-hmm. And she called you over, what would you do? Would you say, well, you deserve that, or would you take me in to be booked?
I would take you into custody.
So exactly. So that contradicts your point. So you just said I have to lead. There's parameter. You are actually the laws which are set up. Leadership and how it's led. So if my woman talks loud to me. Oh, can you hear me?
I'm having a hard time on what you're saying because you keep going in and out.
Okay, can you
Mr.
hear me now?
Fantastic. Should I switch it to StreamYard and we keep rolling? What you think?
Man, you in here too long now, bro. It's just it's intermittent. It's not too bad. You just gotta let it work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't don't restart it, fam. Can
y'all hear me?
Yeah,
good
I
now.
can hear you. Go ahead with that hotel wild.
It's the software. It's not you. It's the software. But go ahead. Start back over.
So what I'm saying to you, is that we men, we are been handcuffed, right? By because we know any great leader needs a little bit of healthy fear and be able to execute that fear if the one who follow is disobedient, right? We need we need to have some sort of consequence. You have
Right.
to agree with that, right?
Right, I do.
So if the women are if the women are knowing in the back of their mind, well, yeah, I like this man, and I get loud with her, she's already in the back of my mind knowing that if I get too far into exerting my authority, she's going to have you come in and check me in my house.
Right.
Correct. So
Right.
therefore, that limits my ability. That limits my ability to be the effective leader that I need to be for this house to maintain its stability.
Right, but what okay, so I get what you're saying. You are correct, but even if there weren't any laws, right, and you were a strong-armed leader, you didn't have no games, and you smacked every woman or whatever, eventually nobody would take your leadership because it's not what they want, right? So you go ahead.
So let's look at this, right? The most effective leaders are the one who can't implement those things, right?
No, they find ways to implement. They find ways to lead without being too overly forceful or overhanded or whatever. They find ways to do that and get people to comply without having to go too far or without going outside of the social realms or whatever. That's what makes a good leader.
Right, without going to jail, right?
Yeah.
Within the confines of the soul, but he said within the, but Rufus, he said within the confines of the society, they find a way to do it.
Yeah, but once again, because if it's like the little homie on the block in the gang who's the weakest dude of all the gang members, right? But all the gang members love him. But he sees me, who I know I can whoop him. I need to put him in check, but he can go to them and have them beat me up, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm better than that," right? Same thing with the women, right? They're knowing that they can talk how they want to or challenge your authority, and if you try to execute, hey, get over there and sit down, shut up, right? She can call you in, right? Because all she got to do is say, I feel threatened, right? And then now my leadership is out the window. Now she no longer respect me because she has you.
I guess why.
So this is why I'm saying that, huh?
But that doesn't hold on, but that doesn't stop you from being a leader though, right? At the end of the day, regardless of what anybody says, if they want to follow your leadership or not, that doesn't make you not a leader, because let's change what you're saying and flip it on the other side. If somebody was to break in a house, or if the shit was to hit the fan, they're looking for your leadership. They might not want you to lead them in that aspect, right? They might not want your leadership in whatever it is that you're arguing about or anything like that. But at the end of the day, majority of women are going to go to a man for leadership when shit hits the fan.
So that's conditional leadership, correct?
I mean, you can call it conditional leadership, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry.
If it's conditional, that means I'm not really leading. Because she's not really she knows that she can defy me, and if I have a problem with it, she can get me out the way and say, you know what, I don't, you know what, you're done. So therefore,
yeah, but the only time that really happens is when somebody doesn't see value in your leadership, right? So you have shown something, or somebody has, I would say that person has shown something in their leadership that they don't value, that they don't want their leadership anymore.
So let's look at the divorce rate, right? The women are leaving, and the thing that they're leaving for, not because they're threatened, or not.
No, because they don't want to be led anymore.
They're leaving. They're leaving because their happiness is more important to them than the keeping together of the family. Right? They're saying, right? Some women say they're graduating from being married. So how am I the leader if she says, you know what, I can go to the judge and tell the judge, I want him out here, I'm replacing him. He's out of here. And I'm going to do this by myself. And the judge gonna say, okay, what you want me to take from them so that you can be efficient? The money, got it, send that. What you to have the house, send that. Right? So then really, in essence, in the beginning of our commitment, she had this knowledge already that I'm only making you think you leading, but really I'm the one that's dictating terms here because I know that I have more power than you to end this and I will win. So therefore I'm not really having the ability to lead like effectively because I have someone in my business refereeing everything that I say and do. So that makes it ineffective.
But I don't think we're talking about effective or ineffective leadership, though. That's not what I was.
Yes, we
that's
are.
not what I was. That's not what I was prefacing. I was saying that a person is born a leader regardless. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, people are looking for men to lead them. In extreme situations, people are looking for men to lead them. That's what I'm saying. If that person wants your leadership or not, that's regardless of the conversation of if it's effective or not. That's not what I'm really talking about.
But the Ham's conversation is, are men being good leaders? That's what this conversation is about.
Right, but you can be an excellent leader. If somebody doesn't want your leadership, doesn't mean you're not a good leader. That doesn't mean that. Like you have people that quit jobs because they no longer just want to do the job, because they no longer want to abide by the rules that have been implemented by that job. That doesn't mean that the person's not a good leader.
Thank you. Glad you making my point. I'm absolutely just here on somebody else's time until they fire me and move on to someone else. But me, who's the leader then? She is. By de facto. Even though I have all the abilities and capabilities, she can remove me at her wishes. And that makes me what? Expendable. And if I'm expendable, then my leadership is just a placeholder.
Is she not expendable as well? If you feel like she's not accepting your leadership and you no longer want to lead her, you can do the same thing, right? I mean, is that not true?
But this is what this conversation is about, right? Is everybody has the same advice. Or if she doesn't do all these things, leave. Would that make you a good leader because you're a quitter?
Has nothing to do with quitting.
Yes, because you're quitting on your project. You signed up for this commitment.
I signed up for somebody to take my leadership. If they're not willing to take my leadership, then I'm no longer going to be their leader because they're not accepting what I'm giving them. They're not accepting the rules that I'm giving them, right? So that doesn't mean I'm quitting. I'm just moving on to somebody else that will take my leadership.
Exactly. Because why? She's corrupted. So long as she's corrupted, you're not really able. Listen, just be real. Our only thing that we got in the relationships is handsome, get in the bed, and have a great conversation. Because other than that, because of the construct that we're in, she knows that she has a leverage. She knows that at the end of the day, if you speak a little too loud over the voice projection, she can have you removed. So therefore, the leadership is in question because we don't really. America is leading the relationships. Because at the end of the day, if she doesn't want you, Diesel, she can go to the judge or the district attorney and have you removed so then that means you're not really leading. You're just there as a placeholder to satisfy her sexual needs and her ego to say, look at me, I got a husband. And if she gets tired of you, just like you just said, bye. Not because you're a bad leader, not because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, but because she feels like she can go.
You're correct. I believe you are correct, but I'm still stuck on the fact of it being a good or bad leader, and that's where this conversation is coming from.
What you're missing is that it's all about her feelings and what she stands for. And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, but that goes both ways, though. I think that goes both ways.
It doesn't go both ways in this country, right? But you're right. No. I'm not saying you're wrong in your mindset, Diesel, because this is how a man's supposed to think. He's supposed to be leading. But the construct that we're in, the social contract we're in limits us and gives a lot of power to not only just women, children as well. Right?
I mean,
Because
I
they're
get
saying
that.
that a child can be they can change their sexual gender, regardless of their parents say no, you can't. So once again, right, all I'm just saying is, and I'm gonna land it because I'm gonna have a little bit of pushback, is we as men, we're now just trying to navigate through this thing because we're understanding that America in itself and the laws surrounding us is emasculating us, taking us away our leadership, and they're leading because it's all about checks and balances, right? Separated is better. They got two taxes coming from two people. Separated, they make more money. So this is why they don't want the man to lead. America doesn't want the man to be the leader. And I've landed.
All right, look. So, Miss Fantastic, they was voting in the chat. They probably put a 1 in the chat. Can y'all see the back chat? You see it? The interview chat?
Yeah.
All right, I dropped the StreamYard link for y'all there. I attached the new YouTube link to the top of the chat because I'm kind of distracted, like looking at the quality and shit, so I'm not focusing. So I got the new chat. Rainbow Kid just dropped it. Y'all go over there now. I'm about to end this one and start that one ASAP. It's 540
Hey, I
people.
got a meeting starting in 5 minutes, bro. I gotta get
Yo,
I gotta get going.
Quit that job, man. Fuck that job.
Hey, Ruthless, TBD, Mr. Fantastic. It was good talking to y'all, man. I'll try to get back on before you get off, though.
All right, bet. Yeah, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna be on for a little bit. So if that mean come on, just
right.
drop off because I want to finish it because I think that we got a whole lot with more stuff we got to kind of mine through.
All right, bro.
I'm about to end this one and go over there. So EBD, you got the link? All right, bet. I'll see y'all in just a second. So hit the other link that I pinned to the top of the chat, and we'll continue the conversations. 530 people here should be dropping off. Y'all should be going over there. By the time I get over there, it should be 530 people there. All right, I'll see you in a minute because this stream quality isn't the best, and this may be bye-bye to Ecamm, and it got a lot of dope fucking attributes. So hit the link at the top of the chat for the new stream. We about to get it popping. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in a minute.